You're unmuted.
Why would you walk by that?
You're ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, happy Monday. Hopefully everybody had a great weekend. It's gorgeous weather we've been having. Chamber of Commerce, send it up north to all those people that are in the 12s to the 20 below zero. So let's start off with a roll call, please.
Arnolly Burton,
Here.
Jim Knight,
Here.
Brian Rosen,
Here.
Cole David,
Here.
Joe Vagliardi,
Here.
And pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And do we have any changes to the agenda?
Yes, sir. I would like to move item 4C up to do first as part of the new business, please. As well as there has been request to add the discussion around the noise ordinance
Okay.
as well. So we can add that to old business after the financials at 5F. We can add.
So we'll move the recognition up to 4AA. We will add the noise ordinance. And then I wanted to, are we able to take action on the joint workshop review? Is there?
If there's action needed, there could be consensus.
Okay, if it's consensus, I just wanted to make sure that we got.
You're talking about item 5C,
I'm
correct?
sorry, yes, 5C, yes,
Okay.
joint workshop review, correct. I would like to be able to see if we can get a couple of volunteers for the board to participate on the median and the downtown Atlantic Avenue beautification. I think I've got 2 members up here that would love to participate, so.
Okay. But those are the only changes.
Okay, so let's jump right into,
Agenda.
Approval
oh,
for
we
that.
didn't approve the agenda, I'm sorry. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda? As changed?
Approve the agenda as changed?
Second.
We have a first and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and the motion passes unanimously.
Great.
Now that brings us to public comments and partners' reports. And your name and just zip code, I guess, is the latest, right? Is that the?
Or department, if they're a department.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Stephanie Immelman, Delray Beach Chamber of Commerce. I haven't been able to be with you in person for the last few meetings, so I missed you, but I'm glad to be here today. We've got a ton of events in February, but the one I really wanted to let you know about is our membership breakfast, and it's on February 27th. It's Friday. It's at the Aloft at 8:30. And our speaker is Ryan Minton, and he's wrote quite a few books on hospitality. And I think he's going to be talking about his new book, Thanks for Coming In Today. He's an internationally known speaker. He speaks for corporates such as Jaguar, Hilton, Marriott, and he's from the hospitality industry as well. So we'd love for you, since you're so heavily involved in hospitality, to have you attend our breakfast on February 27th. Thanks.
And I'm sorry, Stephanie, and you were missed too, believe me.
What was that?
You were missed. We're happy to have you here.
Thanks.
What time did you say that was at?
It's 8:30 to 10 at the Aloft on
Thank you.
February 27th.
Also, before you run off, I just want to give you kudos for holding the candidate forum. I thought it was great. I wasn't there personally, and it was streamed. I was able to watch online.
Good.
And I thought you guys did a great job with that. So thank you for doing
Thank
that. I
you.
think
Oh,
it
happy
helps,
to do it.
just gives everyone a chance to share their thoughts and kind of hear from the candidates themselves. So thank you.
Thank you. You're very welcome.
Do we have any other public comments?
I'm good.
Please.
Jim Schmidt, Downtown Sergeant. This last month, we responded to 563 calls for services. We took 414 reports. 128 of those are potential crimes. We conducted 329 traffic stops. We issued 388 citations. And we did 55 field contacts. Notable incidences, we're still having issues with the underage drinking. I think that we provided enough warnings and notifications, but we are going to start holding the bartenders, management, and owners responsible.
Okay.
So if you have somebody underage, inevitably the first stop defense is the bartender. They will be issued a citation, which is a criminal violation, and then we'll work our way onward up to holding the owners accountable. We had a couple notable incidences. We had a couple robberies downtown, just outside of downtown, off the side streets. It was a group from Port St. Lucie and Boynton that came down here, and they were targeting downtown areas, specifically people that appeared to be under the influence or intoxicated. We were, through our investigative means, proactive investigations, we were able to identify and target people. We're utilizing our camera systems and our LPR systems. And then we're able to proactively address and identify the vehicle and the individuals. We have collaborative task force with other agencies, and through those means we're able to identify the people up in West Palm, notified West Palm that they were in their area and most likely there for criminal reasons. West Palm and our task force officer responded there, and we were able to make an arrest. So we're still working on the DNA and stuff like that, but it seems like a pretty solid case, and the people are still in jail. So good job to our investigative department.
Appreciate that.
Good job.
Absolutely.
It's
guys have any?
I think it's great to see how the different departments are also working together, because these folks move around and hit different places.
Absolutely.
And they think that it's another situation, another city, it's not going to get recognized. And it's awesome to kind of see the technology.
That's very true. And we've utilized that, and we've and everybody's cooperation is key. I think with the cell phone thing that we're having issues with a few months ago, we haven't really seen any definable patterns of that, but yeah, exactly. We were utilizing, they were going all the way up to Orlando, down to Miami, so we were able to utilize all those resources. And the ID scanners, actually, that the security of the bars and the restaurants downtown utilize, we help to identify who the individuals were that were inside
That's
there.
great.
So there's multiple good things for utilizing those things, and we highly encourage and recommend using them. So.
Oh, I wanted to ask about not ask, but I guess maybe just bring it out into the light. The woman who owns Chow Boutique, Liz, right on Atlantic Avenue, had told me within the last couple of months that she and Aaron, who's the manager at her store, went to go run back to her house on 7th just to go pick up the new lot of clothing to bring back over to the store. And she said that they drove in her car, which was a very fancy car, and not too many of them made, and drove broad daylight into the parking lot. Not the parking lot, the driveway, pulled up right in front of the house, right in front of the house, went inside for 15 minutes to go gather all the clothing, came back outside, the car was gone. Mm-hmm. And the whole thing was caught on camera, and she said it was terrifying when they watched the footage, because it was like a professional operation, 4 guys, ski masks, all dressed the same, had the whole thing set up they knew exactly what they were doing. I guess the Delray police force got right on it, came, and it ended up in a chase, and the guys ended up going off on the ramp. And then I don't think that the guys were caught, or at least not in Delray, but I don't know if it was a jurisdiction thing or whatever, because then they got on 95 and they were moving. But kind of scary to think that was even happening here. I was really shocked to find out that kind of organized sort of theft was coming into town. It's kind of scary. So
Yeah, we get them from time to time. Most likely they're crime of opportunities, but yeah, there are definitely people out there where, a target-rich environment. So we try to stay on top of it and proactively address them and utilize technology and other resources to identify and get these people out of here. So
thank you for doing what you do. We obviously need you very badly.
Thank you. Let the record reflect that Anthony is here.
Great. Thank you, Sergeant.
Thanks.
Yeah, he's parking the car.
Oh, he's coming, okay.
Any other public comments?
Are there any other public comments that we have? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. No more public comments, okay. So that brings us to the
Recognition?
minutes, right?
Minutes first, yeah. The consent
We have 2
agenda.
sets of minutes, the January 12th board meeting minutes, and then the joint workshop, January 22nd minutes. Can I have a motion to approve the January 12th and take them separately?
Well, it's a
What's the
consent agenda.
Consent,
It's
okay.
usually
Yeah.
different. So I'll put out a motion to approve the consent agenda.
In a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 The board's a little.
And Al
Welcome,
has shown up.
Al.
Alvis has entered the building.
At least he hasn't left.
All right.
All right, so that should bring us then to the 4AA, is that correct?
I'm gonna come over here. So just for everyone to understand, I wanted to add an item to our monthly agenda to recognize publicly people in our community and our partners, as well as our team, to recognize their work, their contribution, and their partnership with our organization in the downtown. So I want to do this on a monthly basis and share with you all, because there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes, a lot of people that we work with, and a lot of our team members that work really hard. So I want to make sure that you as board members, along with our community, also understand the value that they bring and their impact. So first on the list, I wanted to recognize the City of Delray Beach's Parks and Recreation Special Event Team. So ladies, Danielle's and Natalie, if you want to come up here. And just while they're coming up, So this team, these ladies are a huge resource for our community and for our team and our downtown. So I specifically wanted to recognize them for their hard work as they jump in and produce and work closely with our other city services to produce the Holiday Village and the 100-foot Christmas tree. So these ladies deliver a 5-week activation in the heart of downtown Delray Beach, and this is no small feat. The scale, logistics, ongoing management required to bring this experience to life takes tremendous planning, teamwork, and dedication. Your efforts created a vibrant, welcoming holiday destination for residents and businesses and visitors alike. The holiday season is one of the most impactful times of the year for our downtown and our businesses and our district. So your work plays a critical role in its success, and without your leadership and commitment and the spirit and energy that define downtown Delray during this time simply would not be the same. So I know we and our team and our downtown sincerely appreciate the professionalism, the collaboration, and the hard work you bring to our community. So thank you for all you do and for your continued partnership. And just so to also understand and put in perspective, hundreds of thousands of people come here in that 5-week time between the tree lighting, the parades, the village itself. So thank you. We have a little gift for you guys. Actually, they're little Christmas trees. So we have these are they're Christmas trees from the Cornell Museum.
Are they out of glass?
They're made out of glass. So we got these for you. So.
Thank you.
You want to say anything?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, ladies. You want to say anything?
We would love to hear from you all. You work very
You're
hard,
not
come
shy.
on.
I'm not, but I've never been up here before ever. So Collaboratively, please know that it is the heart of Delray that we love doing this. But it also is a collaboration of all the other departments in the city, and we would love to recognize them if I can. I'm going to take that time, and a shot clock I see is on. But parks, maintenance, building maintenance, police, fire. Who else am I missing? Public Works, all of them. It's every day, even 6 weeks before, and then most this year was 6 weeks after that it takes. I mean, we're already hearing Christmas music in October, so you guys know what it's like to pull this together, but we're happy to do it, and we smile through the blood, sweat, and tears of it, so we appreciate it. So thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
So I also wanted to take time to recognize one of our team members. So I'd like to recognize Alexandra McCoy for her. So Alexandra plays a huge key role in our Old School Square team. So Alex came to us almost 3 years now, and she built the role. So she came in, and she is the behind the scenes as our coordinator, who has exceptional professionalism, organizational skills, created process procedures to handle all of the rentals, the inquiries. We must get at least 15 inquiries a day for the space, all of the logistics, the permitting, really everything possible that goes on for the rentals, our events. So it's truly the operation. She works very closely with the museum team, but her impact has been significant, and her tracking, her invoicing, just really being on task all the time, and really building that process for the calendar to maintain, to really keep us on track. She is should be like 3 people in one, but I just wanted to bring her up and recognize her with these flowers.
Alex did not know she was going to be named today. This is a surprise, so just letting everyone know.
Now, Alexandra has she jumped in head first and said we can make this happen. So I am sad to say that Alexandra has given her notice. So she's going to be leaving us at the end of the month, but she's leaving a huge impact. So, want to say anything?
Thank you very much.
We'd like to wish you best of luck with all your endeavors there, wherever you're headed, and hopefully we'll see you around town still.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Listen, I will be at every event. I will be a volunteer at every event.
So our team is small but mighty. So for sure, yeah. So and then also we just so the board knows too that Danielle Rosenberg did also. Her last day was on the 31st. So we're missing her. We would recognize all of her impact for the past 3 years as well. But before I knew that Alex was leaving, I did already have her as my recognition for this meeting. But I want to do this and take that time every meeting because our team is killing it, and they all are really great, and our city staff does an amazing job. Our partners at the CRA are working really hard as well in the chamber. So just really looking at how we can take time to say thank you and give the kudos to the hard work that everybody's doing. So, and it's a nice way to start the meeting.
Definitely a great addition to every meeting, and certainly should be recognized because they come in lots of times, especially with putting up the tree before the sun's up.
Oh, yeah.
Goes on till well after the sun's down, and that's a major task, that's for sure. So I'd like to ask Jennifer Costello to come on up, please.
Right.
Very exciting about getting Garlic Fest to come back to Delray.
Can you smell me? Jennifer Costello, 33444, our zip code only. Good morning, everybody. I appreciate the time to come up here, and yes, we're bringing Garlic Fest back. We truly believe that this is a community event. We started here 27 years ago, and we're extremely thankful that we do get to come back home, and that's exactly what it is, coming back home. We did ask the DDA if we could have a little bit of support from you to come back home, and I'm here to answer whatever questions you have. We put in the the request for that. And I guess to really quickly just kind of explain a little bit of this is after talking with everybody and having our partnership and with the DDA, we've decided, because we're working so well with everybody, and I do appreciate city staff and the CRA and everybody, we are going to do a quiet opening, a soft opening on Saturday, and it's going to be free to the community from 9 until 2, where our gates would normally open at 11 for paid. We're going to do a soft opening for the residents, and we've asked the Green Market to partner with us and be a part of that so that we can merge the two events together for the residents. And we thought that would be a wonderful way to come back with the city on Saturday. And then on Sunday, again, with another community event, the Cocoa Market, they typically do yoga on the site. So on Sunday, we're going to do another soft free opening in the morning from 9 to 11, where we're going to let anybody come in for free again. They're going to do yoga by the amphitheater and be a part of the event.
Fantastic. We're
So
very excited.
that was new. That was new. We didn't originally had put that in when we put the application in.
So this is part of the request, and we've been working obviously very closely with Nancy, God rest her soul, prior to, and then now working really closely with Jennifer and the team on this, bringing Garlic Fest back into the community. So this is a venue fee waiver, so they're looking for the full site fee to be waived for this in exchange with really the partnership, which obviously is branding and collaboration in that respect. And I believe we talked about some tickets and things like that as well. So
I'll just jump.
Go
Sorry.
ahead.
Yeah, if you want to do a motion to approve, I'll just move the motion to approve unless we got to move kind of fast.
Yeah.
All right. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
fantastic.
Here we go.
Congratulations.
That's what it's supposed to happen.
Looks like you have our support.
And I will smell you
Can I-
all later.
Can I just ask if that's really Brian, or is that or look alike? You didn't go over the numbers?
I looked at them.
No,
they
out
provided
loud.
a budget.
I mean, out
this
loud.
is someone that provided a budget. This is a $300,000 plus event that we're creating that has a long history here, and I'm all for it.
I'm going to
Not
file a
here get in the
missing
way.
persons report afterwards for Brian.
Hi, Bern.
This is our silent partner. I don't know if you all have met Vern Ryan before, but this is Nancy's
I started the
business
event with
partner.
Nancy 27 years ago.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's great.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
And you're stuck here?
I do tents, toilets, and electricity. So I'm infrastructure.
It's never always romantic, but you make it happen. So thank you.
That's my
It's all
father said, he
important.
who takes out the trash always has a job.
Yep.
Thank you, folks.
Thank
All
you.
right, bye-bye.
Good luck. And now I believe we have the CRA. Renee and her team are going to come up and tell us the exciting things about what's happening on West Atlantic Avenue.
In the district.
Hi everyone, Renee Jadising, Executive Director of the Delray Beach CRA. So a couple months ago, Laura had asked about providing an update and presentation to you all about the SET Transformation Plan. West Atlantic Master Plan is what it's called right now. As you know, we've been in probably over a year's long process of updating this plan. So I'll kind of go through some of that history for you, give some input. This is actually the same presentation that we provided to the CRA board in December when we recommended for it to be going on to City Commission for approval. So I'm happy to be here to share that with you all. And I also have a few other updates at the end about just other things that we have going on in the CRA/DDA district that would overlap, and obviously open to any questions that you all have. All right, here we go. Okay, so here's the district. It's the SET area. So it's CRA sub areas 3, 4, and 8, which is the West Atlantic Corridor, the Northwest Residential Neighborhood, and the Southwest Residential Neighborhood. So the West Atlantic Master Plan was adopted by City Commission in 2020, and it's a blueprint of what the community wants as a vision for their future. It combined several other community plans that were in existence before that, but it all brought it into one. So the plan process started, I believe, around 2016 before I got here, but when I got here, the CRA was recommending for it to be moving on to get adopted by City Commission, which ultimately happened in 2020. It was called the SET Transformation Plan before that, and then some things happened, it got changed. changed to the West Atlantic Master Plan, which brings us to part of this update now. So there's a QR code link to what the current plan is. It's on our website. So you can scan that or visit our website if you'd like. So here's a timeline. I kind of gave a little bit of this just a while ago, but this is an overview of where we are. I'll skip this page and go to the next one because we are at the adopted stage right now of the 2020 plan. So around June 2023, the CRA board started discussing updating the West Atlantic Master Plan and changing the name of the document back to the Set Transformation Plan. So that happened throughout the year and kind of discussing what that would look like, what would need to be amended. It started as just the name, then it kind of changed to Implementation Plan. But the Implementation Plan filters throughout the whole entire plan. So we tried to break it up and to piece it together how we're going to actually update the plan. So in March 2024, we hired Business Flair to update the demographics because at that point the data was from 2016-17. So at a very minimum that had to change. So we worked on updating that, and then back in May to October 2024, we started discussing what's the next steps, what we wanted to do next. So then we decided to start actually getting into the implementation plan, like I mentioned, that filtered throughout the whole entire plan and updating the entire document. So we had some meetings with some of the community leaders in the beginning of 2025, and then we hired Inspire Placemaking to draft the update to the plan. And then between May to October, we had several public meetings, which thank you. I know I saw some of your faces at our meetings, and Laura definitely attended the meetings to support that. It was quite an effort. I think we had upwards of 100 people almost at every single meeting, which is really a lot. We kept having to change the venue. We ended out at the gym, at the community center, because they were just at the basketball stadium, because there were so many people coming. It happened to rain that day, so we didn't get as quite a big of a turnout, but it was very, very well attended. What was really interesting to see is there were different people there, not just the normal people you see all the time. There were people who were outside just coming in saying, hey, I saw this, I heard of this, I want to find out more information. So I think that in itself was a win. We had some people who also said they vowed not to go to any city government type meetings because they were not interested, but they wanted to come and check it out, and they were actually happy that they did. They said that it was a really informative. They liked the process. They felt included. We had a lot of activities with stickers showing your priorities, so we really tried to make it a dynamic, interesting sessions, because it is a really large plan. When we broke down the contents of the plan, I think we had about almost 100 to-dos, essentially, principles, things that on the list to be done, which was a lot. So part of this effort was also to condense that. So we're really happy with the results of the public outreach meeting. So the next step led to also October, where we discussed how we would adopt this plan. So meanwhile, CRA staff had been working with the consultant and some of our community leaders on actually drafting the document. So that's taken quite some time. We're still working on that now with city staff, but this was a large effort that took a lot of players to come together to make this happen. So we started working on the draft update of the plan at the end of last year, and then we had a special CRA board meeting in December of 2025 where we recommended it for it to go to City Commission on to the next steps. Then we went to the Planning and Zoning Board December 15th, and right now we're in the middle of ongoing meetings with city staff to discuss updates to the LERs and code regulations in the plan. So we, and around that time, late December, Laura had reached out about meetings, so we thought this would be great timing because we are still working on the updates with the city staff. So there's a QR code to the draft plan. I think it's also part of the backup with the implementation plan. So here's just a timeline again of the meetings. The big picture, we broke it up into first presenting the demographics, then we presented the action strategies within the plan, and then the last two meetings we dug into each of the principles. So there's 6 principles in the plan. The first meeting we did the first 3, and then we went into the last 3. They all work together and kind of flow with each other, so a lot of the topics overlap, but we thought this was a way to digest the information a little bit better than trying to tackle all of them at once. This is just, like I said, a lot of great information shared. A lot of people came out to visit our meetings, and based on those discussions that we had in the meetings, we started updating the principles in the plan. Overall, the look of the plan stayed the same. The order of the information presented also stayed the same. History, set today, and the set plan, and also the guiding principles. What was really updated was the meat, what's inside there. We try to slim a lot of it back, and then the appendix was also updated to the new demographic information. So here are the guiding principles. So community capacity building is one, civic stewardship, community wealth building, healthy community placemaking, and strategic investments. So the next couple of slides, I'll just highlight some of the key changes that were done for each one of these. At the beginning of this effort, I actually thought the plan would end up being like 50 pages or 80 pages. It still ended up being close to 100, but I think a lot of it, there's more detail that was lacking, I think, in the first plan, and there just needed to be some updates. So it was a good effort. I was surprised by the number of pages that we ended up with. I thought it would be a lot less, but nevertheless. So community capacity building is this is really a community-led strategy to foster community pride, because it's very, very important for the community to have that sense of control and ownership of their future. So the biggest change in this strategy was relating to the commercial land trust. So in the current plan that's adopted now, that land trust, it's a little bit confusing in how it's supposed to be structured. So in one place it discusses the current community land trust, which is residential, expanding to include commercial. And there are other places where it's a little more vague about just creating a commercial land trust. So it was very clear to us through the outreach meetings that the community, this is really something the community would like to create. They didn't want this to be an extension of the current land trust or something that the CRA or city or someone's doing. They wanted this to be something of the community. So that's where we updated that language, just to make sure that it's very clear that this is a community-led initiative. And civic stewardship. So this section, we updated this to talk about how to get involved. So this is also a community-led strategy where it's how residents can interact and go to different meetings and how they can be involved in their local government. So we added this section on the right of how to get involved, basically going to city commission meetings, CRA meetings, DDA meetings, advisory board meetings, neighborhood association meetings, volunteering for boards, things like that is what we tried to get across through this section. Community wealth building is also another community-led strategy that involves other areas too, the school district, the county, a lot of different resources come together, but the wealth building is also another community-led strategy. So we pretty much left the strategies within the same. They're on the left-hand side, so there's financial literacy, educational attainment, worker skill enhancement, existing businesses, drivers of job creation, entrepreneurship, environment enhancement, housing, and public policy. So we just really did some cleanup here. Not a lot of major changes happened in this section. But again, this is something that there's a lot of community interplay with this item, especially with the job creation, entrepreneur enhancement, such as like the Peach Umbrella and things like that. There's a lot of initiatives that the community wants to have as community-led things, not us or city or CRA leading those. Healthy community, another not so much CRA strategy, but takes a lot of different players to come into play with this one. You'll see a lot of strategies here. This was also a big strategy section before, and it remains the same. So we added things like wanting like a wellness center. We definitely enhanced a little bit more of that information. The campus at the county's building at the old Carver, we added some information about that has some kind of a medical tie-in as well. But they also added more information about mental health and describing that a little bit more and how the community wants to address that. Next is placemaking. So I think this is where really us, the DDA city, we come in a little bit more under the last two strategies. So placemaking, again, a lot of it stayed the same of the look and the feel of what the community wants to have in the community. We just kind of, again, cleaned it up. So there wasn't a lot of changes in this area. And also strategic investments. This is another one of the CRA, DDA government type initiatives, talking about housing, neighborhood pride, increasing home ownership rates. So this was another that stayed largely the same, just kind of cleaned up some updates that the community was looking for, but no real major changes happened to this strategy. I think the biggest change throughout the entire document was the implementation plan. So all of these things, what you saw there were just highlights within. Like I said, there were over 100 different, needs or wants in this plan. When we looked through and did our outreach meetings, I think only a couple of them fell off. So we tried to just condense them as much as possible, but a lot of those filtered into an implementation plan that was attached to the document. So what we'd suggested was to break that up so that the plan is a little more agile, that you can make changes. These aren't all the musts every single time. So we took those initiatives or things that they were being requested in the plan and made that implementation plan a standalone document as opposed to having it all tied into one. So if you wanted to update it, like this, what's happening now, we go through this whole process with the city and the CRA and everyone coming together to make this big update. You can actually do this as more of like a working document. So you can change it if you want over the time. It's still using the original plan as inspiration, as the initial starting place, but we don't have to go through this large undertaking of over a year and changing, looking at the LDR codes and all these different things that we're going through now. It's a little more easier to manage. So this is an overview of the update. I went through all of these, but we updated demographic information with additional history, updated demographic profiles. We updated references to community groups and gathering spaces. There were also some references to churches and things that were missing from the original plan, so we made sure that that was corrected. We updated pictures to reflect the current state of the set, and also we used better quality pictures. That was also an issue in the plan. We updated maps to reflect things that are going on now and future projects and community spaces. We also updated the action strategies based on the feedback that we received and the location of the implementation plan. So next steps, we are, like I said, still reviewing this with the city and working on the LDR code amendments. So we're hoping this will be before City Commission in the coming months once we're finished with that exercise, but that is ongoing right now. So here, I won't go through all of these, and you'll have in the backup if you'd like to look at it in more detail, but this is all the demographic information that was updated. I just want to show you as an example of how it was updated. We really tried to keep the plan as it was and not make any major changes to the overall look and feel of the plan. So you'll see here's some images showing the updated demographics. They're the same images. We recreated them. We just updated the information that's contained within it. And you'll see on the left was the original. Oh yeah, this is the original information that contains some of the demographics. The highlights on the right-hand side is just what was changed. So you'll see the percentages were changed. It's kind of hard to see there, but we just, again, tried to keep this as consistent as possible. Same here. The highlighted is what was changed. And all of the images, like you'll see on the left-hand side, this is the development opportunity. So this is the 67800 in West Atlantic. The pictures are all the same. All of those things are still the same. We just changed some of the demographics and information within it. So income, education, planning content, zoning, ownership, land use. Okay. So that covers the set plan. Do you want me to stop for questions or do you want to keep going?
We'll keep going.
All right.
That works for everybody, and then
We're on a roll. Okay.
We'll hit you with questions at the end, if that's okay.
All right, no problem. Okay, so that's set plan. Next is just a few updates on things that we have going on that we thought would be interesting. As you know, we do buy properties for affordable housing that are in the set neighborhood, in the northwest, southwest neighborhoods. So this is a summary of the request for proposal that we just issued to build 4 single-family homes. So we're very hopeful we'll get good responses, 3 on the south side, 1 on the north side. We're also still looking for tenants for the 95 Southwest 5th Avenue building. This is the 2-story building that we recently completed. We're really excited about this. We are looking for medical tenants. We had a couple people respond. We still would like a little bit more so that we have some options to look at, but we would really like neighborhood servicing, medical treatment facility or treatment options. So we have primary care, maybe some dental, maybe primary or internal medicine, something like that is what we're trying to attract here. So we're really hopeful that we'll still keep this open so that we can attract something. If you all know anyone or have any interest, please let me know. We're happy to open up the building and give a tour. There's still a couple things that are being worked out with the building, but we can give access whenever they would like.
Parking?
Yes, so there's a few parking spaces. If you see right here, there's that little driveway. So there's a few parking spaces here. Not a lot, but there are a few here. And then if you just walk down this sidewalk right here, right next to this building, we have a parking lot right there that goes through from 4th to 5th. It's a CRA parking lot. And there's actually a city lot on 4th. It's a little bit more of a walk, but it's just around the corner. So there is access to parking close by. And we just had a ribbon cutting for 98 Northwest 5th Avenue. This was a joint ribbon cutting with the Chamber, the CRA, and the DDA. So thank you all for partnering with us on this one. We welcomed Atlantic Current and Stella Mix to the building. So we also just recently put a sign on the front. You can kind of see it right here, the Edmonds Bain building, and it has the address there. It looks really great. We also installed a directory. There's a few other tenants I just wanted to go over. The front unit right here on 5th is leased out by it's Rabbit Hole Cafe. They're calling this Down the Rabbit Hole Cafe. Their original location is a vegan restaurant in Pompano, and they were the successful bidders for this space. So they should be starting with their demolition work, I hope this week, if they didn't start already, and they hope to be completed within a couple months. We'll see. They have a permit, so they're along the way. they're getting along, but the owner just came by on Friday, so she's moving along. Okay. We also have Sun Up Skin. That's one of the bays, kind of on the interior there. That will be for facials, and then 102 is open. So we're going through a review process right now. We actually have a second meeting with our committee tomorrow to hopefully select somebody for that space. So we're really excited to have a few people there, and then more to come. And then upstairs is the workspace, as you know.
Big congratulations on that. You know, I remember when you did the one on the other side of the road, I was there for that one. And it's just like, I mean, you're doing development. You're building buildings, you're filling buildings, you're stabilizing them. I mean, you're making things happen.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. We're trying. If you're familiar with this street, if you go north of this street, there's kind of like an orange, yellowish kind of building that we recently purchased. We completely renovated the outside. We repainted it. We gave it a new roof, new windows, new doors. We also selected a restaurant, Maureen's Kitchen, to occupy the space that's all the way to the most north side of the building. So
is that a former Delray Beach business from George Bush? That one?
No. She actually was she worked at the soul food restaurant that was right there, which is the steak place.
Oh, okay.
Donnie's. Yeah, she worked there for I think 30 plus years. Oh, okay. She's been doing catering and different things, so now she's looking to open up her space. Soul food, yeah. It'll be a soul food restaurant. We're excited for her. There's some work that needs to go into the space. The tenants there before had it unoccupied for a very long time. So we're planning to do a renovation to the inside, to all of the bays in that building, and also redo the back parking lot. Right now it's just a gravel lot. Can
I ask you a hot question?
Let's hear. What's up?
You can defer if you need to.
Oh, I will now.
Do any of these businesses, and it's good to see some, food and restaurants kind of coming into these neighborhoods. Are they looking at trying to become part of this entertainment district? I know there was some talk even during the noise ordinance meeting we had about, bringing the entertainment district kind of west. And again, you're seeing some of these businesses come in, but they're going to have to shut down, a little bit earlier. And I just didn't know what the CRA or if you're.
It hasn't come up. It also didn't really come up during the plan update meetings. It wasn't like.
Yeah, I'm just curious if is that all anything these guys are looking at?
No, and most of them wouldn't be later anyway. I mean, the Rabbit Hole's a cafe. Stella Mix she would probably be there later, but they're doing podcasts. I forgot to mention. Sorry, Stella Mix is doing podcasts, facials. Atlantic Current is more of like a daytime operation, and our workspace closes at 5. So, and then in the other building, where Maureen's Kitchen is, there is a barber there, and I believe he works later on into the evenings, but they're not looking for, I guess, outdoor or that type of.
Outdoors, I think or operating hours past 10 p.m.
Yeah, I don't think that they would be looking for that. So,
is there a space anywhere over there that could service that kind of sort of evening entertainment dinner?
There's all West Atlantic Avenue has restaurants, and then there's Donnie's.
No, I mean
for us, ours are different. I mean, the Maureen's Kitchen was inquiring about an outdoor space, but right now there's a dumpster and you go outside of the doors. So we need to reconfigure the back and kind of improve that.
Late too, though. I mean, some coffee shops.
Yeah, maybe.
Later, but again, it's whatever. Just curious if
the improv is there.
If it was on their radars or if it's something you were even looking at. And again, these are a little bit off the app, but
Yeah.
Just curious your take on it.
It hasn't come up yet, but if it does, we'll address it. Maureen had asked about tables in the front, so I'm sure as things develop it may come
are
up.
neighborhood places.
Right. It may come up a little bit more once we start getting the activity. I mean, I think the approach here was trying to self-spur the investment because a lot of the properties are owned by the CRA. We're hoping and encouraging people to come in, but part of it also is stabilization. So we're allowing these spaces at a very reduced rent. I think the max is like $1,000 or just over $1,000 for these spaces. But you're having these businesses that are really excited to be here. I mean, Atlantic Current was the first group that was in there. He's been there every day. I mean, it never was a hesitation.
On the other side, I mean, it's great. Hatcher's
Yeah.
in your building.
Hatcher.
We're using him for one of our projects.
Hatcher Construction was a land lease with us, so we own that block, and now he's able to rent spaces out to other businesses. So we also should be having a ribbon cutting for one of his tenants probably in a couple of months. So it's happening. I mean, it's slow. I think I don't know. I'll get to the West Atlantic, the larger, but it seems like there's these smaller developments that are spurring so people can see that there's something happening, and it's just going to be a smaller scale because these are things that we can manage and build on our own. We can't build these large 20, 50 plus million, but we can do this and at least get some energy going in the area.
100%. You're doing it.
Trying.
Sorry, continue.
All right, so now we're on to Atlantic Avenue. So this is the Northwest 800 block. So this was the site of the container, which we were all really excited about, or the modular build. Unfortunately, we had canceled this request for proposals, and we're kind of regrouping on what's the development strategy for this parcel. At one of our meetings recently, we went over a remediation site. So that's the little square here in blue. So this has been going through an active remediation. I'll just give a quick summary. Christine's here, has been working a lot on it. If you want a little more detail, I can have her come up and share a little bit more about it. But basically, there was a remediation that started probably almost 30 years ago on our site. Shortly after, there was some contamination found right here in the median. So around that time, our two remediations were tied together. So our site has gone through a cleanup for this 20, 30 years. And some years ago, you'll remember there was like a black fence around it, and then there was all this equipment and everything in there. It got cleaned up a few years ago, but then we put like a wrapped fence that showed CRA projects just to make it look better as they were taking out their equipment. Ultimately, they did remove the equipment, but our site is still tied to that remediation in the median, which can't be cleaned because they can't close the avenue to clean the site. So we're trying to find a way to like uncouple or separate the two, because it still shows that there is a active remediation. Like we won't get the no further action letter. Which is why when we were looking at the modular build, we actually had a pad here that would be for a tent to like event space or something, so we wouldn't have to deal with any sort of construction or any restrictions. And it's more so if we're selling the property. If we're keeping it, I guess it'd be a different story. But we really just do want to get that resolved and move on. So we're very active discussions with our consultants right now about this parcel. So we brought this up to our board a couple of months ago, and then ultimately they decided we're asking our consultant to prepare a report for us of what our options are for the site. So that's where we are right now, is what does the world look like? Whether we get that remediation removed or not, we just wanted something from the consultant, an official report showing where we are. Oh, so that's this one. But it's clear we took off that fence, which is great. We are just trying to work with our consultant to find out what options we have for developing there. And in the meantime, we were also able to acquire these two parcels. So when we started the development with the modular, we didn't own them, but thankfully we were able to purchase them, so it makes it a nicer piece of property. And then here, you just mentioned Hatcher. So William Hatcher's building is right here in the blue square. And then we acquired all of these in purple over some time, over I think probably 20 plus years. So we are looking at bringing a townhouse community here for sale. Here is kind of a big picture overview of what it would look like. And this smaller individual parcel would just be one commercial building. So William Hatcher purchased this building, and he's in the process of renovating this. So this will be different into a commercial office building, extension of his building. And then we'll have our little office building here, which you can see over here. So this is the view from the street side. So it's essentially two buildings. So the building that's on the street side, you'll see that look right over here on the top. And then there's a courtyard in between, which you'll see on the bottom. And on the back, this is off the alley, so that's on the left-hand side. This is a detached garage, and on the top is an accessory dwelling unit. So we've been working with the city on a accessory dwelling unit study that would allow that. So basically in the set neighborhood, there would be an overlay that would allow the accessory dwelling unit option for affordable housing, or workforce housing. So again, something we're really excited about. There's also, I think, legislation going on right now that would make accessory dwelling units everywhere, so that would change it all. But you would still, for the local, need some sort of regulation or information about it. So we're happy that we did this study because it looked at every single parcel in the set to determine where, like the lot sizes, what could be accommodated. There's different styles and different sizes for it, whether it's a single story or 2-story. So a lot of work went into this study that'll be really useful. So we're waiting for that in order to move forward with this. But we're in with the city's development services right now working on this project. The commercial unit will go before, obviously, because it's a separate thing. We don't need the accessory dwelling unit for that. That's this little building. This parcel will be going forward, and Hatcher's also is also working with development services. So these two will be moving along quicker than these, but we're still waiting for that study, and once we do, we'll keep moving forward, but it's already in review right now. And then big picture. So this is the West Atlantic showing all of the different properties that we own. Obviously, the ones that everyone's eyes on are the ones for the 600, 700, and 800 blocks, the largest parcels that we have. We've been discussing trying to attract a grocery store and talking about a request for proposals for that. We've been working on one since last year. We have a pretty comprehensive document that we're working on through with our board. So hopefully we'll have some more information in the coming meetings about what's happening there. But this is kind of big picture what we're looking at. Oh, ribbon cutting. Oh yeah, I mentioned this. So future ribbon cutting. This is for Harvey Insurance Solutions. He'll be going into the Hatcher building, so we're probably looking for DDA participation. We'll do another joint ribbon cutting there as well to celebrate this. We're really excited about him opening there. We have our social calendar for the year, so this is our information kind of dissemination outlet for the CRA. We open up one of our buildings in the evening so people can come if they can't stop by our office in the daytime. We ask them to come by our offices in the evening time to do kind of like a walk around and talk. It's not very informal, and some of you all have been there, but we just put up some project boards. We have a topic. I don't know what our March topic will be yet, but usually we kind of pay attention to what's happening and have that be like the main topic. So if people want to come in and have a meeting, we do that. If they want to just come around and look at the boards, we do that. If they want to come talk to our staff, it's a really casual way to present this information. I've found that it's been really great interacting with people on a one-on-one basis as opposed to like a presentation where you're talking at people. You can actually have a conversation. So we have all of our staff there kind of tackling groups around, and it's been pretty successful. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Fabulous.
You want us to applaud?
Please. No, I'm just kidding.
It's an applauding day.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No. Happy to be here. You guys are great. Thank you.
Before
Thank
you
you.
finish up there, Al, you want to I'll start down here. If you have any questions, come all the way
I know where I
around.
can go for Al. Wait, Al. Hold on. No. Or the containers.
The container.
Well, I've given up on the but I can't believe you smile when you've just. I've known you for how long? Almost 10 years, I think.
Almost, yes.
We all share the same stuff with the same. The thing is the CRA is not bollocksed by the fact that Atlantic Avenue just never seems to change and never gets built and never happens for whatever reasons. I know you have the same mindset that we have. That after all, the DDA worries about Atlantic Avenue. That's our mission, and you have to worry about all of the West, and all of the blight. So I know it's more than a full-time job, and I know your team's amazing, but nevertheless, you wake up every day and you drive down Atlantic Avenue, and it looks the same, and it's really frustrating. And I don't know how you smile, how you stay up there now and do that. I never understand it, and I'm always amazed at how dedicated and diligent you work towards getting things accomplished on Atlantic Avenue, and luckily things happen around Atlantic Avenue and with your money, but ultimately all the money spent and the few buildings, some of the properties you've been able to buy are great. But it is more frustrating for me. I don't know about everybody else, but I believe for everybody else too, that it's a slow process when it's working perfectly, and it never works perfectly. So what the end result is I'm going to be off the board someday, and we're all going to be gone, and we're going to be retired somewhere, and Atlantic Avenue is going to still be.
No, it's not.
Well, that's what I mean. How do you do that?
It's called hope.
So I will add. So for the 6, 7, 800 block, since we started this discussion about what to do last year, we were looking at either putting out one RFP or breaking it up, because you've been here 2, 3 non-successful.
I was here when the last RFP was written, and it took 6 months to write an RFP that basically, was 3 properties. It was there, and there, and bid. And it still took 6 months to write it. It took, another 6 months before everyone got the wrong group and the second time. And now you're going to do it again.
Well, it's a little bit different. Like I said, it was a little bit different.
So I wanted to say something. I have to say.
Yeah, please.
And I'm worried that we've missed the opportunity for a Publix or some national chain, and we're going to end up with, I want to use the word ethnic, I don't know a better word, a chain that's less than exciting to 100% of the community. And I would like it to be exciting for 100% of the community, so people will come off 95, they will come from the neighborhoods to the east and shop there and not stay away like they do from the family department store. So I'm sorry, that's what I wanted to say.
That's okay. Sorry, no, that's okay. No, so this go round, we've actually hired a commercial broker, JLL, to help us go to grocery stores and talk to them. So we're in the process right now of doing interviews with stores to try to find out who's interested. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But as opposed to us just shooting out an RFP saying, hey, development world, give us a whole what you are thinking, we're trying to get that information. So we've already had 2 interviews right now. We're hopefully to have a couple more, but that'll give us the information. So we'll see if they called 50 people and only 2 responded, then we're getting our answers. We were always relying on the developer community to say, hey, I can do all these things, I can promise you everything, and that's all fine, but it hasn't been successful going that route. So that's where the whole thought of, are we going to do one parcel or all 3, or how we're going to break it up or not. So that's what the discussion that we're having right now, because we're just not sure yet. We're really just not sure. If the supermarket is still our biggest driver, we're trying to offer them the best land that we have, which is the 600 block. But then the other 2 parcels are smaller, and you see there's pieces missing that they're not interested in selling at this point at all. So then we have these that we've been trying to build around, but again, it's not a complete thing. They're not complete squares, so that's not the best development site either. So we're trying to really wrap our head around what and how we're going to deal with this. But right now, we're looking at the supermarket as the first point. And yes, go ahead.
I apologize. I'm still doing this. I'm stopping everyone else from talking.
That's okay.
First of all, it's not ethnic market. A little birdie told me it was independent, is what I meant to say. And thank you for that. And when I was at the Fairfield, the manager, who's now gone, right? He's not there anymore. The manager that was talking about...
He was the regional manager. No, he's still there.
Oh, the regional manager mentioned to me that he would love the property next to the hotel in order to put in a Marriott. And I thought, did he ever talk to you about
this
that?
Piece? The one right here?
Right next to the Fairfield. 900 block, I guess. 800 block, whatever.
This piece, over here. No, the only person I spoke to years ago from Fairfield was interested in an extended stay right back here on these parcels.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
But that was a long time ago, and I don't think he's there anymore. So, no, I mean, I'm happy to talk to anyone. This is the point of all these discussions, why we've been talking about this RFP since last year, to get people interested and get more people interested in the word out there, more so than it was before, so that when we do put the bid out, we'll have some really strong responses and be able to move forward with this.
And my last thing was, I begged for the RFP to be in 3 pieces, because I think it's difficult to have a guy who's a supermarket maven to understand workforce housing in, behind a bank. I just think that each piece should be separate, and that is my input, and I apologize for
Well,
taking everyone's time.
that's part of the discussions that we're hearing. It's like if you're building supermarkets, you're building supermarkets. If you're building housing, you're building housing.
Right.
And then you have this master developer that comes and does the whole thing, having to get all these pieces together. But look where we are now, having done that repeatedly. So the RFP that we create is only for the 600 block, the 6-7, the biggest parcel, for a supermarket and parking. If they want to throw in some other commercial uses, that's okay too. But again, the other two parcels, it kind of leaves them behind. So, and I guess we have to decide if we're just going to say that's okay, let's move forward, or if we're going to not. So that's the point where we are with the RFP. But it's a very comprehensive document, more learning from the lessons of the past, and now putting this together. Our next, hopefully, discussion with our board will be about design styles. If we want to exclude some designs, I know like the kind of that square look, we wanted to have that more tropical feel. So I think on the front end, we're planning to probably limit some of those options for the building style, so that we don't have to deal with that later, which is what happened with our last go round. Is they were switching architectural styles, saying that they could.
Right. One question on that, on the RFP, do you have a requirement that the Atlantic Avenue frontage is retail?
Retail, yes,
Okay.
yes. So
Good.
that's what we'd asked for. But again, what we're hearing kind of from the supermarkets is that's not their ideal style. That's like a downtown look they would want, because how would they enter the store?
But it's our ideal style. That's what we told
Right.
Publix, and they agreed, and
Well,
they put 6
Publix-
retail spots.
No, yes, they did, exactly. So we're trying to see if we can get to that, but that's what we're asking for, is to have that comply with our request, not to change everything just for this store. So
Did I mention we're all frustrated? Has there ever been consideration to close 6th Street?
Yeah. Al?
Sorry.
You said you were done.
I could be here all day.
Quick, and you're going to stop.
I could be here all day until you yell
we
at
could
me.
talk for hours. We have these chats like all the time.
We can
so
do
I
that
apologize
We're
to
due for a chat.
everybody. I'll pass. I'm sorry.
We'll catch up later.
Dominated the time.
You and I don't know each other, so
No,
I'm going to
hello.
come by the office
Come by,
and I'll
please.
introduce myself
Yes.
properly and really have a longer conversation and take a closer look. I think it's wonderful. I thought this was super interesting. I'm eager to learn more. I think that obviously I don't think anybody disagrees up here or out there, we'd love to see West Atlantic thrive and see everybody bustling over there and going to all of the venues and going to all of the storefronts and being able to give everybody business. So I think it does need to be a super strong contender that sort of bridges that gap. My question is, I know that you put out these RFPs and I know that there's obviously lots of credentials and so forth, but do you target, like, specifically, we want this particular business to go there and then actively go after them? Or is it sort of like whoever comes and meets the criteria gets it?
So for this particular RFP, I'll just speak about the last go round because it was the more comprehensive one. So we also have to consider there's a very active community that lives very close by. So which is where the set transformation plan comes in. Prior to that, there was the West Atlantic needs assessment that was done in 2012, and that identified certain uses. So it identified the grocery store, medical, pharmacy, banking, and entertainment. Family entertainment. So the RFPs we were putting out wanted all of that on these parcels. So whoever requested or not required use, the only required use was a supermarket, but all those other things were looked on favorably, if you will, as being included in these parcels. But then you're looking at the development side where it's like, that's a lot. That's a lot to put onto these acreage, plus housing, plus this, plus that. So which is why, like the 95 Southwest Fifth Avenue building, why we tried to say, hey, maybe this medical we could accommodate here so that it wouldn't have to be in these parcels on Atlantic Avenue, so that we could spread it out. Because we have great land, but it's just limited. We only have what we have here. We're always looking to buy, that's for sure, but it's a very limited availability. So we do ask for those certain things, and this new RFPs that we're looking at, where it's just a supermarket, parking, and maybe some other type of retail in there too. Yeah.
You said, when you said entertainment, you said family entertainment. Is there a reason that you're strictly saying that?
That was what was in that 2012 needs assessment about things that your families can do. I mean, like I don't know. I can't remember what the piece. Yeah, bowling kept coming up, and
Movie theater
those types
was
of
one of
movie
them.
theaters, which is challenging. We only have 7 acres.
Yeah.
More recently, I've been hearing event space, to have a community space where people can hold baby showers and parties and events on these parcels, but that requires a lot of parking, a lot of space. But we're just throwing it out there as all these things that we're hearing. So we're trying to figure out again how we craft the RFP, but these other parcels have been trying to take the pressure off of this development.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Anthony?
Thank you.
Hey. Hi, Renee. How you doing?
Great, thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
And just from talking to, I was given a new job, and the job is they made me a what is it that we are, Brian?
Block captain.
Yeah, block captain.
Oh.
Yeah, they made me a block captain. So that means I have to go
Heard
around.
about that, yes.
Yes, fantastic. So amongst everything else I'm doing, I'm a block captain now. So, and you go around and you're talking to people and they're asking me questions, and I realized that some of the things those were my questions, but I hadn't actually focused on them because I've been hyper focused on 30 other things. So, but here's a question. Within the CRA wheelhouse, let's say, and they're asking me, these other businesses that I'm going to within my block captain area, well, how come the CRA hasn't opened this back up and opened that back up and opened this back up and opened that back up? I mean, they have, and I'm like, well, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, I don't know. And well, doesn't the money renew annually? Don't they get the new and sometimes they have some really good questions that I don't have any answers for. So in everyone's not as astute to what's going on, but some of them are paying attention in vacuums, if that makes sense. So they catch wind of this and they catch wind of that, and then well, I'd like to do this and I'd like to do that, and then the number one thing you hear is the compare and contrast to east of Swinton, west of Swinton, where they're going, well, they do all this there, they do all that there, and so that's the thing I get to say. Well, I'm trying my best to do a whole lot of things on this side. I'm pushing different agendas through the DDA, but when they're asking me specifically, because no one ever mentions grant funding to me, or no one has yet mentioned grant funding to me in regards to what the DDA does, but they've specifically mentioned grant funding in regards to what the CRA either has done in the past or it has done in the past. So my question to you is, so that I can go back to my block and have something of substance next time I have to go out, because I was sent on a mission to pass out the Delray Open decorate your window flyers. I had to, and no one was interested in that, it seems. On that, they just, we got other things to do. But I was asked, when are they going to open up these programs again, and why has it taken so long to open up these programs? I think one of the places said, these programs have been closed for almost 3 years. I was like, really? And so as a business owner on the west side, or the West Settlers District, I hadn't known that the programs had been closed or unavailable as long as they had known that. But it was, when they gave me a time frame, I was like, oh. And my comparison was that I had done some work as a CRA advisory board member in Boynton, and in Boynton, and Boynton's a very, very, very strange town, so their programs renewed annually. So I'm asking so that I can go back, is there because the programs still show on the website, so once they say it, I'm like, well, maybe let me go and see, because maybe you're wrong, and they're not wrong. They still show as they are, and that, I know that. Mm-hmm. So what should I tell these people?
First, I would invite all of you to come to our March 4th social, because we'll have that as a topic. You will be our topic, block captain. So now I just gave you another job. Because I like to give the information and share it and let people ask the questions and banter in real time back and forth. So I'll invite everyone to come out. We can do a West Atlantic business topic or have that be the highlight of the March 4th social.
Okay.
And as far as the grant program, so we have several. Right now we have our Paint Up and Signage grant that's up to $5,000, up to 50%. That's open district-wide. That's available to anyone. We have our site development assistance, and also that does the interior build out for a building, and also an architectural grant. That's a project consultancy grant. Both of those grants are available if you're in a CRA building. And the reason we made that switch a few years ago is when we looked at, we were opening buildings first of all. We had our 98 building that was just under construction. 95 Southwest Fifth Avenue was going under construction as well. We have 2 cottages also in the West Settlers building. We also have 2 commercial bays there. So there were several things that we already had in our wheelhouse. So we thought, all right, why don't we pause these programs? We were looking at revamping them a few years ago. When we looked back a few years to see if businesses are still open, how they're doing, we had almost $300,000 in businesses that were not there anymore, that we gave these grants to, that were no longer there. And it was around COVID. There were other issues happening too. So what we decided was, while we're opening these buildings, 98 Northwest 5th, 95, why don't we just make those grants available for CRA buildings? Also, William Hatcher was also under construction, so his buildings are also open with the grant programs. Why don't we focus there and get those activated? And we really wanted to focus our efforts, and they're opening. I mean, William Hatcher has places open, our buildings are opening. So our discussion now is, do we open them back up? What are we doing? We don't even have a ton of people coming in for the Paint Up and Signage grant, so I'd love to even see that one getting calls all the time. I think we had one recently. We had another application just come in, but that's been there and available, and that's painting the exterior. And I've talked to businesses about that grant program. Haven't applied. It just requires 2 quotes basically from contractors. It's pretty easy to apply for that grant. So I'd love to hear the feedback if you all want to come to March 4th and discuss what are they looking at, what do the business want to do, is it something that's not covered in paint and sign, are they looking to redo the interior of the building? That information would be helpful for us. So I would love for you guys to come by.
So to confirm, it's not that the funding isn't available, it's just been reallocated in a different way.
No, it's still there. It's there. It's just the programs are open for CRA buildings if you're in a CRA property, except the Paint Up and Signage. Anyone is available to apply for Paint Up and Signage in the district.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
In the entire district.
Yeah, that's everywhere. Yeah, so please
Okay.
use it. Yeah, we have it. Please use it.
Brian?
When it comes to this conversation, I'm actually, most interested in hearing what this gentleman has to say, because he spends all his time on this side of the street, operating a couple businesses, and has a lot of history in the area. So I'll always kind of lean on him to really kind of hear what's going on. A couple things just because you're here. Thank you for coming in, honestly, and bringing us up to date, our board, and again, just having another opportunity to share with the public everything you're doing. I attended 2, including the rainy,
Thank you.
WOMP. I don't know. I'm looking at the acronym, and we got to come up with something better than WOMP for West Atlantic Master Plan. But I went there, and you guys, it was quite an engagement endeavor that you guys really put together. There was so much information shared. I came back with the long, I don't know if it's 11 by 17 book, 50 pages. Shared it with Laura. She was there. I was just we got to share this with our board because the stuff you're doing, it works for all downtown. This is not just a West Atlantic Avenue plan. This is really the building blocks for any, great, thriving downtown community. All the stickers, just the way it was all handled. It was a lot. And it's a sensitive stuff too. But again, I saw a lot of community engagement, and kudos to you. Wow, really, like you said, there's a lot to cover here. We did a lot, but it's really an understatement.
Yeah.
I was seriously overwhelmed, like myself, and I'm fairly on top of this stuff. But that was great. I wanted to say congrats on the business opening and the buildings construction again. The CRA is doing things. I know that there's some frustration here. These things take time. They're sensitive. We all want to see it happen, and I feel like it's happening. It's just everyone wants to see it happen faster, and I get that. Talked about Anthony's feedback. Oh, the shared link. Oh yeah, I want to see if you could maybe. I love how you have the QR codes on all your stuff. So thank you for that. I don't know if everyone's noticing that, but you can like scan any of these pages and go right to the stuff. So I just wanted to point that out, and I thought it was great. And that's pretty much all I got. So just keep up the good work, really. And it's a lot, and I'm sure some people are frustrated. People are going to get frustrated, but things take time.
Yeah, it's happening.
So. Cole?
Yep. Thank you for the presentation. Super informative. I think just my viewpoint from like an outsider's perspective is maybe the RFPs are a little too restrictive for developers to want to bite them off. The difference between wants and reality are obviously different needs, and developers enter to make money, and obviously with that comes hopefully growth with the rest of the community. But that's just my third party, outside perspective on it. It sounds like you guys are making progress, which is good, but just a thought.
Thank you.
Renee, thank you very much for coming. I had a couple of comments and questions here. First is hopefully JLL's been given the flexibility to really come back, and if it's the hardcore truth that the grocery store is not ready to come, or they have to, there was just an article about Meisner Park. It's 30 years old or whatever the time frame is right now. And they did, unfortunately, but it worked. It's one of the first projects that turned its back to the street, which I know no one wants to hear that. But if you're telling your grocery store it's got to be 2 stories, I watched some of the discussions about it and so forth, and they're saying it's not happening. Well, hopefully your board will understand that we might have to lower the bar a little bit and to get the grocery store that is 1 story. It's just it's unfortunate, but it's a reality that you've got a lot to work with. One of the things I wanted to check on too is now that Joe Abruzzo's up there, the county and so forth, is there any way we can get the courthouse garage to be able to utilize and part of it into what you're doing, because it's very expensive to build garages and so forth? If there's any way we can use part of that. Thank you for the overall presentation, the updates on the RFPs. I know they're coming along. I know it's come up multiple times at this board, and is there any kind of pop-up activation? I mean, because if anybody could see something out there on some of the lots out there. I know there was a discussion about trying to move the green market, and I guess that didn't go too well in trying to move them out there, so forth. But if there's anything collaboratively we can come up with, the chamber, the DDA, CRA, whatever, to have some kind of pop-ups out there. I've seen, and maybe check with the city of West Palm. I mean, they've got pop-ups in the heart of their downtown that Steve Ross has been doing, temporary stuff and so forth. So if there's any way to get any of that done. The last comment was on the, you're getting held up a little bit with the cleanup and so forth and what's in the street. Does it have the brownfield designation and everything else out there?
It does not. So that's where our consultant is putting that into the report and analyzing if we go that route. So that's the step we're at right now.
Because I found in Boynton, they did do it there, and I was involved with the Walmart, which was getting rid of the Gentleman's Club and everything else, the shopping center in the back and so forth. And there's a lot of great incentives and so forth and come out. And I think a lot of people, when they hear the word brownfield, they immediately think it's a negative.
Right.
Well, it's not at all. It's a very positive thing. There's monies that come back and all kinds of stuff as a result of that. So if that's possible to look into, and other than that, I think that's really it. But hopefully the CRA board will look at and recognize that if these brokers that you've hired and they're telling you the truth, it is the truth, well, let's not kid ourselves and say, and maybe it'll have to be like the fire station at some point is probably going to move, right, and so forth, and the police station's getting redone and so forth. Sometimes you have to build it, it sits for 15 years, and then you tear it down and do it over. And, that's just a reality, but hopefully they can give you the flexibility to actually get these projects going. And very informative presentation. Really, I know you guys are doing everything. I mean, with opening up the office space and stuff like that, it's huge. And hopefully people will understand and recognize that. Thank you for being here and everything you guys and your whole team over there do. We appreciate you.
Thank you. I can address a few of those. So the Brownsville, yes, we are looking into that now, so that we're hope that'll be part of the report that we're getting from our consultant, is how whether that's the recommendation or that's the next step in this process. Because it seems like untying or breaking that connection chain is not the best for us. The other thing you mentioned about the pop-ups. So part of the West Atlantic Set Transformation Plan is about like having food trucks or having some kind of food trucks in the set. In the plan, it just discussed that having like that type of a use on Lake Ida. So we're actually in discussion with the city now about having an overlay or something in the west to allow areas to have these food truck pop-up things. And I know that's kind of like troubling for some restaurants, but I think the feedback that we've heard, especially out of the community meetings, was this neighborhood's different, our community's different. You can't treat our needs like you would the downtown needs with the restaurants. So we've been talking with development services about how that would look, if it's designated areas or you can't stay overnight, but just some kind of a strategy to implement a portion of that as kind of like a pop-up, I guess, that you could have some activation in the West.
If I can interject, I almost look at that as could be an incubator. They may come with their trucks, and before you know it, if it works out and it's successful, they may put down a store.
And that's
or they
what
need
we
a commissary
heard.
somewhere and they have to rent some
Right.
space
Right.
for it.
That's what we heard from the outreach meetings, was that these could be those opportunities for these smaller businesses that would be more, I guess, desired in the neighborhood. So we are actively working on that now as we speak. So, great.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Renee.
That's
Thank you,
great.
the
Thank
entire
you.
team. So.
Yeah, thank you, team.
See ya.
CRA hanging out
See
over
you on
there.
the 4th.
We see
Yes, we'll make sure
Yeah.
to put it on their calendar. Don't worry.
All right.
Mr. Chair,
That brings you.
that does bring me. Just wanted to let you all take a quick breath. That was an amazing presentation by our CRA as she leaves. We're coming to the point of the agenda where we want to talk about the policy reviews. Laura and/or I have met with everyone to go over the policies in great detail. So I just want to give an overview, and then if there's any additional questions, we can answer those. As you all recall, there was an audit performed by the city's auditor over the DDA's policies with major respect to Old School Square, which there isn't separate policies for Old School Square and DDA activities, so they are pretty much one and the same. So we took a look at the policies based on the feedback from the auditor. One of the first things we did was to give a broader view and look at some of the DDA's sister agencies, in real respect the West Palm DDA, to see what their policies were. And we are, before we made the updates, pretty much in alignment with how they're running their policies. So we felt very comfortable that the policies that we have had in place up until this point have done and served the DDA well. But like any other policy, review and updates are something that are welcome and something that should be done on a regular basis, which we will be doing going forward. So that gets to the changes that we made with the this 2026 review of the policies. So I just want to go over a couple of the highlights. The first thing we wanted to make sure was we addressed directly some of the comments. So and that was in the audit report. So one of the policies that we created that was unwritten before was the food and beverage policy. So that goes into detail on when different food items can be purchased for events, employees, etc. And I'll give you one quick example of what would be okay and what would not be okay under the policy. So what would not be okay is it's Monday, and it would not, well, not today, but a regular Monday where we don't have a meeting, because meetings are a little bit different, and an employee is working her or his normal shift. It wouldn't be advisable for the DDA to purchase lunch for the employee for a regular working day. But if the employee had to work on the Saturday outside of the normal business hours, it would be okay for that employee to be purchased a sandwich for working that extra time. So that's one example. There are others in there. You all have reviewed the policy, so I'll answer any other questions with respect to that. The other major policy is the credit card policy, and we all went over it in great detail, but this codifies, and I know one of my board members likes that word, codify, Brian Rosen. We codified the current policy just to make it clear for everyone within the agency and those reviewing the policies that the credit card is set for specific uses, and it's really controlled by our executive director, Ms. Simon here, and how that gets done and how the receipts get brought back and entered into the system so that the reconciliation at the end of the month can match the receipt. So that's really one of the bigger issues that we wanted to make sure was clear in the policy. The reconciliation process, I think we've shored that up. But like I said in the beginning, policies are meant to help the organization fulfill its mission, and this is what we think these policies do. With that, I'll turn it over to Laura if she had any general statements, and then if not, we'll ask you all to have any questions if you do.
No, thank you, sir, for your work on this. And no, I don't have anything else to add. I think that, we had some good conversation with everybody. So if there's any additional questions that you might have, but I think we're at a good place to, again, formalize this and implement. Obviously that will come with this will be our internal training and internal procedures, if you will, to help follow this and be, again, doing the great work that everybody does, but really making sure that we're having some sort of boundaries for our team, at least in policy that's in writing. So it's good.
Does anybody have anything that was not handled in the pre-meeting discussion at all?
No. Does this need a motion?
Yes.
There was one thing that was brought up, I think, with
Go ahead.
after verbal offer, you have a follow-up email or something.
Correct. It'll be a verbal with followed up by a written confirmation of that verbal, so that there's documentation in the file that the quotes have been fully vetted and documented.
It's like codifying the verbal through an email.
Correct.
Which is part of our codification process.
That's a great use of the word.
Thank you.
Right, and a prime example of that is we did get a call last week from an advertiser in Toronto that was a great opportunity for us, but it was a verbal conversation followed up with a written proposal. So it's very good.
Can I have a motion?
I would like to make a motion to pass this formal codification towards our purchasing and financial processes.
I would second the codification.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank
Aye.
you.
Thank you.
Passes unanimously.
Fantastic. Thanks. All right. Oh boy. I know. We didn't even recognize that it was Super Bowl. We are at the Super Bowl hangover meeting right now. So, sorry for the Patriots fans. Yeah, no. I don't know if anybody saw my post on my Facebook post, but my dog was wearing the Seahawks jersey. So, okay, so let's jump in. I wanted to first, before we go into our DDA's updates, I wanted to give everybody an overview of Savor the Avenue, because it is Savor time, our favorite day. Savor Day is on its way, March 23rd. The event will be taking place on East Atlantic Avenue. We launched last week. Reservations opened up with 15 restaurants this year. Last year we had 11, so we have quite a few more restaurants participating. But what I wanted to also just share publicly with everyone, Savor the Avenue, we're in our 17th year, which is really the 18th. We had to cancel the pandemic year. But 17 years of this is a significant event that started back in 2009 as the downtown dining scene was changing, And we were really, as we do, trying to find recognition and do something different to recognize and bring awareness to those different businesses. So the Delray Beach Magazine owner brought to Marjorie Ferrer at the time that in Park City, they had this same style of event that took place in Park City and to recognize these restaurants. So why can't we do it on Atlantic Avenue? She said, absolutely. So that's how this started, and it always has stayed the same and be really consistent on how the dynamic of this event flows. It is restaurant driven, and it's meant to spur that economic impact for them, and as where the monies are generated, go right back into the restaurant. As again, we're not a 12-month city, so it's really important that this does happen, recognized so that people will come back, get to know them, as well as maybe give it a little boost for the restaurant, because the restaurants themselves are dining on the street, but their restaurants are also open inside. So it's a double whammy. 5,000 people generally, or 5,000 to 6,000 people are on the street on a Monday night, and that also adds some economic impact for them and others. This is a list of participating restaurants for this year. So you can see we have some newcomers, the Beach Club Pizza, which is where Lionfish, it's right next to Johnny Brown's, that they're just opened a couple of months ago, and they are on board for this year. Campy Restaurant is partnering with Avalon Beach House for the same ownership, so they're going to have a combined table. City Oyster is probably one of our first participants. It's been for 17 years. Elizabeth is also one of their sister restaurants. Gabriella's is an Atlantic Crossing, so they are actually setting up a remote kitchen and will be on the street on the east side of the railroad tracks. Geronimo just opened up back not even a month ago, and they are participating as well. La Coloniale, again, another restaurant in Atlantic Crossing, which will be, this will be their third year, I believe, participating. Lemongrass, one of our founders of Savor as well. They'll be, again, participating. Lulu's, they'll be on the east side of the tracks. They're in Pineapple Grove, so they're coming into the footprint. Rocco's Table 165 is also another restaurant in Pineapple Grove. The Office came back. They took a break for a couple years, and now they're back in the mix. And then Vic and Angelo's. So we've got a strong crew. Reservations are, some of the restaurants are sold out. On our website, downtowndelraybeach.com, on St. Bertha Avenue, you can see where the restaurants are located, and they'll say if they're sold out. So each year, so this is the charity component. So each year we've been partnering with, originally we started out with the Office Depot Foundation for the first 5 years, and then we made a move to come into more of our local Delray Beach, different local nonprofits. This year we've recognized the Interfaith Committee for Social Services. This group actually is part of our homeless initiative to end homelessness, and they are the organizers and producers of the shower truck and the laundry truck now, and they are located on Southwest 4th Avenue, and they are providing constantly that service to the unhoused, as well as those that are in the neighborhood as well. So it is a service. So a portion of the restaurant's commitment is $500, which actually goes directly to the nonprofit that each year. So there is a financial component, but this is also an awareness component. So with the reach that we have on our marketing side and with the magazine highlighting and recognizing these different nonprofits has really brought them a huge awareness. When I reached out to Judy Fenney, who runs the Interfaith Committee, she was like, she almost passed out. She's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Oh my gosh. So it's really, it's more of like an honor for them than really about, the financial impact. So they have a pop-up on the street. They'll be in part of the footprint. They'll be able to address the crowd. And it is, a really a fun way for us to, shine a light on the great work that these people do. So, is there another slide?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention in the photos, you can see, the charities. The last 2 years have been, they've operated food banks. And so peanut butter is a huge thing that they're always in need of at food banks. And so they collected donations. We put out a call on all of our channels, and They each collected peanut butter that all the guests brought, and people just strolling the street could bring peanut butter, and they collected hundreds of jars that evening.
Yeah. So it's great, and I think the Interfaith Committee, they're actually doing a clothing drive right now. So we'll see what we'll be calling for around the event. But any questions from anyone around Savor the Avenue?
The only question I have is that I know we always look at trying to extend it or whatever else, so forth, and the distance of it, you know, how long it goes and so forth. And it would be great if we could keep moving a little bit further towards 95 as much as possible. I know it's logistically and everything else and so forth, but I just hate to see a 17-year event leave out other people, and maybe this year is not the right year, but sooner than later, I would like to see it continue a little further west if we could.
Well, I mean, again, that's when you go back to the restaurants. I mean, we have restaurant opportunities from all over. I mean, Cafe Luna Rosa was from the beach side, was participating, you know, every year. So it's the 5 blocks is great because it is when you start going over those big streets, even like Federal Highway. So those are big streets but we want to have as many participants, or we can. You know, the going west is going to be logistically, but it could happen. So it's something we could do, especially as we're, you know, it's all again logistics, but details. But
quick question.
Yes, sir.
If you have it available, and you probably don't, but what is the cost of? We discussed it briefly about how much it costs to close Atlantic Avenue, and it's like really it's a lot. It's a bear. So to his point, it can't be done now. So that's not where I'm going with this. But what is the increased cost? Like when we do the Christmas parade was all of Atlantic up to
Right.
5th. So you can't say, well, this portion costs that and that portion costs this, but in a estimatory way, like how much does it cost to close
The entirety?
No, that doesn't actually make sense, because there's a gap of restaurants. There's not, you know, so let's say from 5th to 2nd, no, 3rd. What would that? Is there a portion? Can it be priced that way, or
Yeah,
I don't know?
I mean, we're doing it for Art and Jazz. So February
That is true,
25th,
yeah.
we
Okay.
have Art and Jazz on the Avenue, which runs from Northwest 2nd Avenue to Northwest 6th. And that's really it's going to be closed from 2 p.m. we'll open it probably back up by 11 p.m. But the event itself is 5:30 to 9:30. So city services that are supporting this was really how you would judge like how much it costs, if you will, because that's the public works, the street closure piece, the PD piece, the fire, and clean and safe that are out there, getting the street closed and have to be out there and available for that entire time. And that cost is generally around, for us, which is 50%, because we have as a city partner, we get a 50% reduction. So it will probably be around a $6,000 number, which $12,000. So, and for the real cost of it, it's probably close to like the $12,000 to $14,000 to shut that down. Without the discount and without any, but then when you start putting all the other pieces, tents or tables or other pieces, that's where the other costs go. But when you talk about closing the street, keeping it closed,
we're talking about $6,000
for us.
12,000. The DDA.
For us, it would be 6. Right.
The DDA price is 6.
Right, but but to run and produce the event,
that's a whole other thing.
That's
Yeah,
like $45,000, right?
Okay, because of the tents and everything
Right.
else.
So for Save the Avenue, the budget for this, or the cost expenses, are close to the $46,000.
How many blocks is that?
5 blocks.
From Swinton to?
It's a quarter mile.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
So that if we had an extra.
That's tables, chairs, equipment, tents, because we put the tables and the chairs down.
And the tents as well.
Kitchen tents, yes.
Okay.
Equipment, sound. We put sound all the way down. I mean, it's an event. So we're creating this 5-course dining event on the street.
With 15 different restaurants.
Yeah, you also
And
bring in
sound,
kitchens
yeah.
for
Right.
the restaurants that aren't on the
And
street.
that's what
so
we
like all those down
spend-
Pineapple Grove, they each have their own kitchen.
And that's what we spend. So each restaurant's responsible for linen,
Yes.
china, silver, glassware,
We
for
discussed that.
five courses, table setting.
I'd ask, I don't know if this is like a motion deal here, but I'd ask if the DDA staff could consider Western Savor the Avenue for next year, for June or for July. See if that is something that's feasible. I'm sure our budget is locked and loaded for where we are now, but
Do you mean move
So-
event or
no,
add another event?
Add another event.
Why not?
Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can count 8 right now off the top of my head.
There's probably a couple more too.
But people from
well-
people from the east and people from the up north and south can still come, like we have here.
Absolutely, but his question was how many restaurants are there now, or so that's what you asked me. And I think so there's Grooves, Troy's, Zuri, Windy City Pizza, Cafe Suites. That's 5. Tropical, that makes 6.
Tropical Island Time, the other one down the street.
Oh yeah, Tropical Island, that's 7. And then I was gonna count the Rock Steady place, but I've never seen them open, so I can't say that they are or are not. So that would make 8. But
then you got the pizza spot.
That's Windy City.
That's Windy
Windy City. Yeah.
So that's 8.
What about Breathe?
That's 8.
Yeah.
So
For the record.
yeah. So I can count 8 off the top of my head, and I don't know where and that's just between
Right.
4th and 6th, I guess, because Tropical's at 5th.
Maybe
so.
Tony's Deli. I don't know. Yeah.
Just if we can figure out if it's something. I mean, I had already kind of considered it, but once I was informed of like what it costs to just close the street itself, it's like it's a lot just to close the street. So
one thing I would just definitely encourage, maybe just for our Art and Jazz on the Avenue event that's coming up, is extend, because what we've done in past Art and Jazz is extend your footprint into the street. So adding, in front of your restaurant, taking time, instead of putting tents in front of you, we don't want to do that, right? And instead of bringing more food, right? So adding more seating, adding things that you can now, creating that
did
creating
that with the
space.
parade. So I took advantage of that with the holiday parade, with having more. I did. Others, well, Windy City's always out there, and
right. So I talked to Jason at Tropical Smokehouse about the same thing, and Sweets, the same thing coming out, because you have this closed street and making it, and Zuri did it a couple times as well, adding making your cafe larger. I mean, there's requirements we have to do with the city as far as for alcohol permit, but that happened with the tree lighting, and it was very successful for some of the restaurants that actually extended their footprint.
Well, as a block captain, I'm going to go and talk to some of the other restaurants and see if they're interested.
Hoorah!
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, it's something we can look at and plot out and see how we can make something happen. So. And what those would just come back, propose something.
Well, that a lot of what I hear is,
I know,
and I've said this to a lot of people, and they look at me very strangely, and I tell them, in no sudden, comparison is a thief of joy, and they're like, "What?" I'm like, "You got to kind of water your own pond sometimes." So what's going on the east side isn't necessarily what's going to happen in real time. So you got to kind of make it work for what it's working for.
Right.
I told them about. I said Thursday they're doing
Sounds of the Set.
Sounds of the Set. So are you going to light up your building anymore? Are you going to open your doors wide up? Are you going to do anything different other than what you normally do? So it's kind of like my grandmother used to say, it's a poor frog. It doesn't praise his own pond. So you kind of need to do something
like that.
You need to praise your own pond in a sense.
Do you have all these categorized in a book or something? Because comparison is the thief of joy.
Comparison is a thief of joy.
No, it's all right. Just start writing it down. Thank you.
Grandma's.
It'll be in the minutes.
Yeah.
She writes great.
Yeah.
It does.
Awesome. Thank you, though, for that. I think that's really good.
Continued on.
Yeah, we're going to go into the team. I'm going to turn it back, just give you some highlights on what's happening and what's going
just
on.
really quickly, I don't know if you all have noticed, but the Delray Beach Open Window Decor Contest is underway. We have 17 businesses participating. Lots of businesses on Atlantic Avenue and Pineapple Grove. The voting is now happening. It's happening until February 17th. The winning business will receive $500 cash and will be given the People's Choice Award on Center Court at the Delray Beach Open on February 18th. This is a heated competition. I am getting calls every single day from people saying, why are they in first place? They're not decorated as great as we are. So it is a heated competition. You can only vote once, so it's very fair. You can't be voting from your couch. You have to be in downtown. That is why we did this through our mobile pass platform, Banwango, because we wanted to confirm through GPS that the person voting is actually downtown and they have one vote. So it really is up to the businesses to encourage people when they're in their shop to either vote, and they all have window clings now that have the QR code that takes them right to the pass, so they can vote, so they can see it outside the stores and then inside as well. So far, we have 531 people that have signed up for the mobile pass, so they've gotten the mobile pass to allow them to vote for the window display contest, and we have 347 votes. Right now, we have 9 Line Apparel that is in the lead, but Beach Gossip is not far behind, and we have Love Shack in the top 5. Who else? Illustrated Properties. They have a really great painting that they did on their window. So, but we have a lot of time left to go in this voting. So hopefully people will continue to vote. As far as social media, we have another strong month, 1.23 billion impressions. Not the 30 million that we got in December because of our viral Christmas tree video, but this is still more than average. We were at about 1 million impressions, but we're slowly inching up, which is really great. A lot of the growth is because of the restaurants that have opened, and a lot of content around those new restaurant openings performed really well. People love to see, even that video that we did with Tropical Smokehouse was how long was that, Emily? 6-7 minutes? Yeah, I mean, it was a long video, but it still got huge numbers. People just, when they see this kind of content on our new restaurants that are opening, they definitely connect with it. As far as the marketing highlights, social media growth continues to stay high. We're at 191,000 followers, 1.23 million impressions. That's year-to-year growth. Website traffic, this is our new website. We're up about 17%. We were anywhere from the 20 to 70% range over the last month, so that's great. We are seeing very, very strong numbers on our new website, which
I just got to say, go back to that slide. I mean, these numbers that you guys produce and what this team does, I mean, this is unbelievable. I'd put this against any of the best companies out there. I mean, month after month, be having 30% growth, year after year on our stuff. And it's awesome. 20% growth month after month. It's not really normal. We go through it and we're just yeah, this is it. But this is I just want to state that this is super powerful things, not just
are
that
you
we're
listening,
saying,
Emily?
But these are the metrics. This is the metrics. So thanks.
Emily is killing it. She is the Energizer.
Yeah, I
Bunny.
love I saw everyone's Tropical's opening. I saw the video on the DDA. Oh, the Geronimo content. It's great. Everyone sees it. Everyone I talk to is gets in it.
Yeah, the beauty of this content and the beauty of people that follow us is they want to see what's happening in downtown Delray. So we already have a really engaged audience to begin with. So that does definitely help. Our emails, that when people sign up for our emails, they want to get our emails. It's not like we're spamming them or
people still don't understand how great our website is with all this GIS stuff going on. I mean, that just came to life, but that hasn't even come to fruition in whatever.
Well, I've already gotten a call from a brand that wants to get in on our blogs, and they're a brand that's opening in downtown Delray, and they were wondering what could they pay to be in one of the blogs? So it is, I think it's
I had
exciting.
a legacy
to
business
see.
reach out, wants to be involved. I mean, I got people, it's always a good sign when people are reaching out saying, hey, how do you get more involved with that organization? That's good feedback to be getting. It's like, like, let me tell you. So anyways, kudos.
Public relations is super strong, still, in the news constantly for, Laura just did a whole article in Invest Magazine. We had a lot of interest in our new website. We sent out a press release on that. The Delray Beach Open Window Decor Contest. We just did an article with just an interview with the Sun Sentinel. That article was in the Sun Sentinel over the weekend. So we are constantly getting in the news for all the different things that are happening in downtown. So this is really a multi-pronged approach. It's really about being in the news, making sure that our website is solid, making sure that our social media is engaged and we have content there that's really, really amazing. And then sending out that email every single week, reminding people all the things happening and all the things that you can do in downtown Delray. Our average open rate, we literally just this month, after we did the whole website project, we just launched a brand new marketing platform which handles all of our emails, social media, all of our campaigns. We can assign campaigns. So for instance, when we're doing Savor the Avenue, we create a campaign within this marketing platform and then assign all of the different things that we're doing to that marketing campaign across all the channels. And it will spit out like a comprehensive marketing number for us. So we don't have to keep grabbing all these different data points. It will put them all in one big report. So I'm excited to show you guys that once we have that.
I've never seen a
solid.
49% average open rate on anything.
Used to be 2%.
I'm saying for anything though. I don't know any emails that go out that get a 50% opening rate. Like that's
People
unbelievable.
want to get our emails.
Like
It's
10%
exciting.
is solid.
All right, economic development. We were all over the place last month, seeing all the openings: Tropical Smokehouse, Barcelona Wine Bar, Geronimo Tequila Bar, Stella Mix and Atlantic Current ribbon cutting that we partnered with the CRA and the Chamber on. So a lot of exciting things happening around downtown, and we're excited to be a part of it.
Can I interrupt a second on that slide? Can you go back to that slide?
Yeah.
I get lots of people that ask me what's going into that location or this location. And, for 10 years I was on the DDA board off and on. And we used to always review and see and talk about everyone that was coming into town. And then things changed and we're on the digital age and the city's digital platform. And the bottom line is, I don't know. And I don't go and investigate that website every day like I should. But weren't we supposed to get a regular report from the city? Do we get a regular report?
Not a regular report, so we'll
No?
get some things that are updates, but not a formal report.
So they're not really staying in touch with us anymore about anything unless we bother them?
Right. Well,
Jeff?
we
I
don't
think they
bother
just-
them.
Yeah,
We
I just want to say,
things.
yeah, we used to see
Why don't you
stuff.
come up? Let's just.
Come on, Jeff.
Yeah, just real quick, what changed is we used to see stuff that came through the planning and zoning for new stuff, and we don't see that anymore. So
Right,
that's
so-
why you're not as in the know. But go ahead, Jeff.
What's
Hi
it
there,
called?
Jeff
Applied
Forrest,
science?
Assistant
Yeah.
City Manager. It's my understanding we get a major project, we inform Laura what's going on. You don't get a regular update because we don't have a regular update. We're trying to figure out how to create one. We don't regularly update any list of where something is in the process. Again, if there are specific projects you want to know about, I can make sure I'm aware of them coming forward. Laura actually did email last week on asking about 2 projects. I could tell you where they are in the system, but that's all that I've got at this time.
I've got a big but here. But we're only concerned with Atlantic Avenue and the DDA territory. Every business that comes into the DDA territory is important to us. That's why we always got an update and a review and a chance to have input. I asked the city manager just at the last the workshop, does he really think it's working well? And he said, well, blame the state. I don't want to blame the state. I want to blame you. I want the city to tell us not for everything that's going on in Delray, just what's going on in the DDA territory, where our mission statement is to verify and enhance and involve ourselves in every one of them. It is not that hard for you guys to tell us when someone walks in and makes an application to let us know. We shouldn't have to go dig it up, and we shouldn't wait till something that you decide is big enough or small enough for us. Every one of them is important to us. We have retail. I mean, there's only 93 parking spots from Swinton all the way to the beach. We're talking about, 10, 20 business applications here and there. It's important to us.
Yeah, maybe if it
really
just ties
is.
into the, like development services or something, that we get notified when stuff gets,
Used to.
certain applications. Because
we don't have a system that works that way, we're looking at how we can create something. We can't create regular updates. We don't have any. We don't have a system that generates regular updates on what's going on with every outstanding.
I guarantee
permit
that your
application.
team sits and discusses the approvals they make.
The reason we say blame the state is because the state has significantly tightened up the timelines in which we have to approve things. We don't have the staff time for people to be sitting around creating lists because the DDA wants to know what's going on. We're doing our best, and we will try to create something, but we're not going to tell somebody, take an hour out of your day to create a list.
You have a charter of the city. Our charter is read into your charter. We're partners. We're a taxing authority. We're only talking about, look, we did it for 53 years, it was fine. And now suddenly it's not fine, and it's a big thing to let us know the businesses that you have going through approval process. And I thought it was ridiculous when the city manager brought it up. I think it's ridiculous to hear it come out of your mouth right now that you don't have staff to tell us about 8 or 10 businesses that are coming up so that we know what's going on. I don't think that's real, and I don't think it's fair. And I think the city and your office, not you alone, but your office and the city manager have relegated the DDA to some second place citizen in your edict, and I don't like it. I don't think it's great. I hope the board, I think we should bring it up from the board for the next meeting and have a real, I think we should bring it up to the board at the next meeting. This is something that is going on too far, and literally businesses are coming through, and on our mission statement for what we get paid for, it's to protect your phony baloney job, guys. This is our phony baloney job. This is it.
So, Jeff, what is the criteria to tell us what's going on with the project or whatever else, so forth? What is that?
When certain staff and development services recognize that there's a project of size or of importance.
Can you define that?
I don't know what they're using as their guideline.
Right,
What I've got an issue with is I can't give you a regular update because I don't have any way to generate that regular update.
Is it something that we can?
Like I said, I've spoken to the Development Services Director about what can we do. We don't have something yet. The problem I have is I'm getting asked for regular updates on specific projects. I have to go out of my way to go ask, hey, what's going on this? What's going on this? I'm taking staff time away.
53 years we had it.
Right. Well, I didn't have a state that told me I have 10 days to review an application before.
So what? It's a phone call. It's a piece of paper. It's the thing you guys review.
No.
We could go on and on and on.
I need to have development services come in here and walk you through an application, see what we have to do just to get one from start to finish.
We did that for 53 years.
No, you didn't see it now. Now it's a whole lot different when we have requirements on how much time we can hold on to it before we have to give it back.
We could go back and forth on this for quite a while. They used to have, and maybe they still do on the website, about projects where
there's
the mapping.
There's a map. There's a map on site.
Is that actively updated?
It went down a little while ago. I don't think you had it.
It's back up. I was actually just on it
Nice.
about 20 minutes ago because I wanted to check it. Thought I might have to bring it up. And it's on there, and it'll tell you what's moving forward. It won't give you an update on where it is, but it will say, hey, at this site, this is proposed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Laura,
so it's still there.
Laura, wasn't there an agreement with the city manager that they would update us once a week?
We talked about it at our meeting last week. Yeah. So I brought it up that it was, again, it's been brought up by several board members and talked about that.
And I stood here before and said we're looking for a way to give you what you're looking for. I just don't have it yet.
Don't ask me how I feel about it, guys. It's up to you guys.
Thank you, Jeff.
The only thing I want to say is that I think the intent is just for good reason. I think it's just because we want to be able to help in any way, shape, or form with the expertise that we have from the downtown. So I think it's not a battle. I think it's just if we can figure out a way to make it work, it'll only be beneficial.
Yeah, we're not trying to hold information back from you. We're just trying to figure out how to provide it without interrupting the flow of permits.
Yeah.
I don't buy it. Sorry, not a chance. You guys did it fine for a long time, and we were involved, and we're no longer involved. And it looks to me as if you don't want us involved. That's what I see. That's how I see it, and I say it clearly and plainly. You don't want us involved, and that's why you don't give it to us. And we should have it.
And I appreciate your opinion.
Thank
I
you, sir.
strongly disagree with it.
Doesn't mean I don't love you. You know that.
I know that, Alan. It doesn't mean I don't love you.
Thank you, sir.
Do you guys want to
move on?
get a hug
I
or
can't hear
something
you.
real quick so we can move on?
Okay. So I do think so there are things that how you have I've requested where they are in the process, what's going on. So I'm being proactive before the business owner's calling. So if there's any issues.
Let's just revisit this next month. You just spoke with city manager on this and everyone and Jeff in this last meeting. Like we'll visit this next month.
Yeah, and discussion about some kind of book or something that to hand out to the new businesses.
We have that. It's getting printed. But this is something I think different where there's, so a new site plan comes through. So there's a level 5 site plan for modification coming through for 109.
Doesn't matter, whatever it is.
Right, 109 Northeast 2nd Avenue, whatever that is. I'm making this up. But that notification is just that to me. But if there's a cover memo, something that can come through that's being generated for other meetings, whether it's planning and zoning, that can be shared, or just tell me where to go find them, we can do that. So I think that's where you have to come up with, that what we want to see, why we want to see it, and provide it in a way that's
part of your normal process, not an extra step.
Right.
If I may also, there's a lot of things that no longer go through boards. We made some major revisions to the LDRs where there's a lot of things that are now just administrative approvals.
Right.
So they never even go to a board anymore.
Right.
Well, that was
like level
some
ones,
of the planning and stuff like that and so forth, right?
But there's a lot of lower level changes if you make to a building that it no longer needs to go to a board. It still just goes through the department. It doesn't need to go that extra step. And that was, again, our efforts to try to keep up with the state's requirements on us for a shorter time span, is trying to get some of those things in and out without having to spend a month and a half to wait for a board agenda.
I think the good thing is that everybody's under the same, if it's coming down from the state, right? Every city's in the same boat, right? So maybe there's a way to collaborate and talk to some of the other cities. Maybe there is a program out there or something that can just send an email that says, boom, this came in of a certain size or whatever else. And it's not an extra step, but it automatically just maybe sends it out. Maybe there's something that can be put in there, program.
An AI bot.
Is that something we want to talk about? Is like we can determine what we want to see as like a site approval, then I'm sure
I
you
think
get a
we need
ping
to
on
give
your,
some direction to make it easier because you don't really know.
We'll talk about it
I mean,
next week.
Jeff,
next
you get a
month.
ping in your email when something comes through, right? I would imagine a site approval. No? So how do people find out when it's in? I mean,
things are submitted through the Development Services Department. They get a list of anything that's been submitted throughout the city, and they start. I honestly don't know how they divvy up responsibilities.
Everything's online now. They've moved everything digital,
We don't
so it's all
accept paper
tracked.
applications
if we can give a criteria of what we think we should see in the DDA, then when Development Services gets a ping, can they ping Laura on the email? If we can give you a filtered criteria of, is that...
How about
we'll find-
we?
they
We're
got-
going to talk
we're-
about
hold
this
on,
next
hold
month. We'll
Let
go
them
through
work
that
on the
process and bring it
systems.
back.
For the record, we're not a regular city board. We're under a charter by the state. We're a taxing authority. We're the real deal. We're in your charter. We're serious. We have a relationship. You guys are starting to act like we don't have that relationship. It goes further than just Applied Services not sending us the stuff. It goes to other relationship items and discussions that we should be having between our exec director and the city, that if so many things that used to be in the last few years have vanished.
We could go on here forever. Let's keep the
But he's
meeting
up and
moving.
he's there and he's at the podium and I'm
I
here.
understand.
And this is our meeting and we only get it once a
And it's been
month.
said, and it's been said and said again.
Well,
so.
I'm glad you feel that way. I hope it
And
gets
there's
across.
even I sat with Laura regularly for a while. That wasn't getting enough. Now she and I sit with the city manager, and the three of us talk about everything. That's the place where information should exchange if there's things that Laura wants that I'm not aware of. And she does contact me, and I do try to jump on those things as quickly as possible.
I get all that.
Then we find out about it, and we try to provide that information as quickly as possible.
But what
We're going to lose board members, Al. We heard you. We understand. We respect your comments. And let's see what we can do to come up with a solution. Instead of sitting here and complaining, let's come up with a solution.
Oh, I have one. It's return to what we had before.
Next meeting, we'd love to hear it.
What can I say? Thank you for listening.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you, sir.
All right,
Shelley's up.
Shelley's up.
Yeah, we're going to breeze through this. So we
The new hip.
Yes, a new hip.
Hobbling in here, doing much better though. Thank you. So January was a fabulous month in the Visitor Center. We had a huge number of people come through. I mean, we were up almost 50% over the prior year, so that's enormous. Up over 7% all of last year, 2025 over 2024, so that was also really, really good. As you can see, tons of people coming from like the Mid-Atlantic, South America. It's hard to tell on my chart, but people from coming different areas, a lot of different areas we were covering. And then we had our spotlight was the Creative Arts School, who had a fabulous display in there. We toured the Spady Cultural Heritage Museum, and then we have some beautiful window painting going for the Delray Open, as well as a fun tennis ball for everybody to take pictures with out front. So they're super fun. Yeah, it's a lot of fun up there. And just want to recognize a couple of volunteers. And many of you know Jean Romer, who's been there for about 20 years. So she is just as dedicated as you can imagine. That she has given so many years to the Visitor Center. I just wanted to call her out and recognize her and say thank you. And then also wanted to recognize Rochelle Harris and Mark Levinson. They did a Saturday morning shift recently that had a record number of people come through, and I'm impressed they're still coming back. It was pretty overwhelming. So I really appreciate them being there on a super, super busy Saturday. So thanks to everybody.
What about the cold weather in February?
So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. It's actually been busier because everybody's looking for what do they do when they can't go sit on the beach.
Please send them my way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then we did do Veterans Park recently. We had our first meeting with a few folks from the community, came up with some next steps, talked through a process, and then we're planning on meeting again at the end of the month to keep going on this.
Was there no city representative at that meeting?
Not at this one, but it was more of an introductory meeting. So we did reach out to the city, and we'll probably bring them in the future meetings. So we did receive some.
They want to be on board, right?
Right. So they provided us with the latest plans for the park and some past history. Cool. So we've got a lot of information. So, Thank you. Thanks, Shelley.
Thank you, Shelley.
Coming up in downtown this week, we have Sounds of the Set, which is happening on West Atlantic, as Anthony mentioned, at Libby Plaza. February 13th through the 22nd, the Delray Beach Open, as I'm sure you all saw in the parking lot. They've already got the signs up for parking. So that's going to be happening in the next week. Art and Jazz on the Avenue is happening on West Atlantic, February 25th. And then, as we mentioned, Savor the Avenue on March 23rd. All right, now let's move on to Old School Square. Maruska?
Wait, can I just quickly ask you a question, because it's been inquired from me and I don't know the answer. How does someone buy the Kids' Day at the Delray Open? They said they couldn't find any way to buy tickets for that.
I have no idea, but we can put you in touch with someone that can let you know.
Okay.
Now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Hi, everyone. We had a very, very good January, really record attendance. Let me just give you an idea. In December, we had 900 people come through. In January, we had 2,247 people. Our donations are up 100% from last month. Our store has increased 100%. And we had some art sales. We had some amazing things happen. Even our first Friday art walk went up to 392 people. It was fantastic. So people are definitely here, and they're coming out, and they want to come to the museum. We're pretty excited about that. We had the Gillespie Kids Workshop that happened on the 10th. We had 12 kids plus their parents. It was a great, great day of art inside the museum. The kids all got to create a piece in the Dorothy Gillespie way. They got a little tour of the art, and we're doing it again in February and then again in March because the exhibition runs through April. So we've got a couple of things planned for that. That went really, really well. And then we had our Art of Her opening. Art of Her is a group of women, Painted Ladies of Palm Beach. They're a group of ladies who get together and do workshops. They do art education with each other. They paint together. They work out into the community to try to recruit new women artists. It's really important to recognize women artists as their work is only shown 13% versus male art, which is shown a significantly larger number.
So
it's
no idea.
amazing.
That's crazy.
This is worldwide. We're talking worldwide. Don't know what it is. The women have just not caught up with this. It's been a male-dominated world, even in terms of museums. They're definitely more male-dominated. There are more male directors and male curators than there are females. So we women have some catching up to do, so we're trying to catch up at the museum as much as we can. We had over 100 pieces were submitted for this exhibition. We actually juried it to 49 artists, and it was an incredible group. We had 600 people that night. So 600 people coming to the museum is pretty exciting. Yeah. That's not happening anywhere else. That's amazing. Even if you go to the other museums, Boca, Norton, they don't get 600 people for their openings. This is incredible. This is our museum, and it's shining. It's a bright star. People are coming. People want to be a part of it. There were people who said, how do we get to be part of Painted Ladies? Why weren't we part of that? Well, you have to be part of the group. You have to be a member. Couldn't happen. So we try to accommodate everybody. Right now we have something in the museum for everyone, which is incredible. We had store sales. We had art sales. It was a great, great night. Great donations too that night. It was terrific. And you can go on to the next one. So coming up, we have Art on the Square that's happening March 28th and 29th. It's a fine art show happening on the front grounds of the museum. We had about 60 people apply, juried it down to about 50 artists coming. We also have some art groups that are participating. There's we have, obviously the activation on the campus is happening, and it's an initiative to just get people to Old School Square and get people downtown, always, as our DDA initiative. We have Art Connect, which is an art group that's going to be joining Urban Sketchers, Creative Art School, and also the Painted Ladies have a couple of booths now that are going to be part of this. So the individual artists who are juried in, they will be part of judging. There's going to be 2 judges, Amanda Johnson and her husband, James Mill, are going to be there. There are 2 artists that are in the Delray Beach area. They used to be downtown. They're in our area. They now do have another studio in the downtown, so they're actually part of our downtown. But they're really seasoned artists, and they're going to be judging. So we're going to have first, second, third place, and also honorable mention. So that's going to happen on Saturday morning. We have live music happening. We have a kids' art zone that's going to be happening. Face painting, all the usual things that you can see. But we're also bringing in some art installations of some pretty significant artists that are in our area who just want to be part of what's happening, and they want to bring their art and show it during that time. So that's going to be fun. Green Market's still going to be happening, so we're partnering with them. Our event will feed theirs, their event will feed ours. It's going to be fantastic. So that's what we have coming up in March. And then one other thing, I don't think I have another slide, do I? I think that's the only one. But I do have an update I want to tell you about. We've been talking over the last few days, actually, about an upcycled exhibition that we want to do. Obviously, we're a beach town. We're concerned about the beach. We're concerned about the ecology in our area. And we want to make sure that we're talking about that. And we're talking about trash and what we're doing with it and how artists are bringing that to light and showing everybody how to work with some of this artwork and shine a light on this. So one of the artists that I just spoke with this morning is an artist out of Miami who's going to do an interactive using old water bottles. So she takes the bottles, cuts them up, paints them, and then we're doing this project where people will come to the downtown, probably in front of the museum on a couple of dates, and they're going to help us put together this beautiful sculpture that we can then put in front of the museum as part of this exhibition. So it's a way to engage the community, it's a way to bring kids in together, and it's a way for us to shine a light on these issues, and it's part of our educational, endeavor that we're trying to do there. So that's what we've got going on.
Nice.
Wow.
Somebody have a question?
Good job.
No?
No, he said crushing it.
I said he's crushing
thank
it.
you.
Sorry, I'm tight on time, or else I'd compliment you more.
All right, really quickly, these are just a look at the marketing numbers for Old School Square.
55.3%. Did you see that?
Yeah, that's it.
So low.
That is the average open rate is even higher on our Old School Square emails. That's true.
That's wild. That's like
Public relations, our website's doing well. We're in the process right now of building our Old School Square permanent website. This website has been our transition website for the last three and a half years. But we are finally moving on that project to start building the permanent website that will really be an amazing marketing tool for Old School Square. And coming up at the Square this week, we have free movies at the Square. The Lion King is going to be happening on, is that Wednesday or Thursday? Wednesday. And then Thursday, we have our Twilight tribute concert, the first in this season series with the Journey and Styx tribute. Our recurring events, oops, I put those in twice. Full Moon Yoga. We had a Full Moon Yoga on January 31st. It was like 30 degrees outside, and still about 60 people about 60 people showed up, die hard, outside under the full moon in their parkas.
Winds.
Cocoa Market had a couple of events this month because they moved their one indoors on the first, and then did their outdoors one this past weekend because of the weather, the cold weather. And then Green Market obviously is recurring on campus. Delray Beach Garlic Fest, as you heard, is returning February 28th and March 1st. And then, of course, Dirty Dancing Live, which is coming March 12th.
That's ours.
And that's it.
Mm-hmm. Good job. Thanks. Any questions, comments?
That's it?
That's it.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Great job. Again, this year has just been, a sprint since, starting the end of last year. So you guys are just mid-stride, like not stopping.
So just one thing, just to add on to the Delray Beach Open. So that does start the 13th. There was the Green Market, I think, is really the only thing, and the Cocoa Market. Those are the only events that happen traditionally during the tennis week, or anything that's, because all city services are focused on the Delray Beach Open. We are, one of the tennis balls is up at the visitor center. We had to relocate that because of Worthing Park's resodding. So the others are going to be, we have one in front of the Cornell Museum. We're going to be using one during the events this week, and then we'll probably put that back at the tennis center. So, but those are real great branding opportunities for us to tie that into the downtown. So looking for fun. But we're busy, and March is very busy at Old School Square and with our teams. So, and we're some team members. So if you need any of us, please just call. we're running pretty fast. All right, so that is it. So thank you.
So we have the
5C.
Yes, 5C, the joint workshop review. I think that time-wise right now, I know some of the board members have to leave, so I think the minutes speak to itself quite well. I did want to see that we had, I'm sorry, thank you. I did want to see that we had a couple of people, I think, that wanted to participate on the Atlantic Avenue cleanup, maintenance, upgrade, so forth. Mm-hmm. If you're interested in doing that, would you raise your hand? And so I see two, and if they can give direction to Brian Rosen and Jewel to go ahead and jump on that. And
can you do a formal appointment, so that is clear for the record.
Absolutely. Could I have a motion to appoint Brian and Jewel to this new committee, I guess, is being established?
Motion to appoint Brian and Jules to the
Thank you.
Beautification.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So
Passes
just
unanimous.
To that point, February 24th, the city manager and city commission will be talking about the same thing at their commission meeting. So, and how the task force will be put together. So part of that conversation that we had at our meeting last week with Jeff Orris and Terrence Moore was have the DDA board also be part of that process too, whether not just being on the committee, but also being part of.
Yeah, we'll report back.
Who else would we want to have serve on that task force? So I'll bring that back probably to you all either via email information. So, okay.
Thank you. That brings us to a parking discussion.
Brian, would you like to give your update? In the back, just for what I provided to everybody in their backup is just the survey for the on the current program that will be going out this week to the community. We have lots of residents that are going to be filling this out as well, because I spoke at a meeting last week and they were very interested in giving their feedback. So if you could, we did already find one typo in the survey that we'll fix, but if there's any other things that you please send that over today or tomorrow, then that would be great.
This is the employees, right? Or the
pilot program, supposedly the entire changes in the parking was a pilot program, so it's around everything.
I guess what I'm asking is, should the people responding to this, should somewhere it be not just the business owner and the employees, but also any feedback they have from their customers?
Right.
I didn't notice anything in here about the customers per se. Now, maybe I missed it.
It says visitor.
But however, we could get that information out of those as well. And then the other thing is about visiting other municipalities that have parking and how do they do it, handle it, and so forth. I don't know if that should lean on the West Palm DDA. To find out what they're doing. Do they have free parking there, so forth, for the employees, so forth? Because when I looked at the Gibbs study, it did have some conflicting comments from where we've all been leaning. So
this is broken down into like multiple sections, it looks like. Does it make sense to maybe not have the permit program in the middle of it versus like at the beginning or the end? Because I think like just an average user who's going through the survey gets to this and goes, what does this mean? Versus
yeah,
an
and
employee.
Honestly, I need to probably take another hard look at that, but I think we can also break it into two different surveys if we want to do that.
Would be,
and the email going out would say, if you're an employee, answer A and B. If you're a, if you're a visitor or a shopper, answer A.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can certainly do that.
Yeah. I think that would make sense.
Good. Great.
Good comment.
First time in
Anything else,
sir?
Yeah, good.
Could we just, instead of doing the financials next, can we do the noise ordinance, the addition first? Because I think some people are going to
Sure.
leave, and
Yeah, that's fine.
and so.
Anything else on parking?
I gotta leave soon, so I'll just move it on. I know we're gonna be getting some reports on utilization coming up from JoJo and Missy.
Okay.
Over it, and I think I'm working also. Just quick update. I've been working with Jerry Pryor regarding the signage on some of the private lots, and working with her and her code enforcement team. Just seeing where they are and notifying the owners and making sure we get all the signage updated quickly. So that's my quick updates.
Thank you, sir.
I have copies of the noise ordinance.
The noise ordinance, Jim?
Yeah, so.
Okay.
Is it not in our?
It was added later, Al.
I was not here.
Oh, right.
Took advantage of me.
No. It's yeah.
I think Laura was there at the meeting. I don't know if anybody else was at the.
I was there.
Okay, so anybody, Brian, if you could speak up and tell me what
before you get started, Brian, I received some correspondence from the city's attorney this morning about the subject, and she just wanted me to clarify what section 99.05 subsection D4 provides, and it provides that sound levels shall be measured on the property boundary from which the sound is generated. So I think there was some confusion on that. Obviously, every property's boundary is going to be a little bit different than the others, but that's what the code says. So I just want to make sure I put that into the record before you get started with the discussion. And I know Brian and Laura were there, so I'll turn it back over to you, sir.
All right. Well, great news is there's also a video. It was streamed, so you can always watch the video as well, just to see it all. I'll tell you, and I've sat in a number of these sound ordinance meetings going back the last 2 years. I've participated in the sound walks with the sound engineer, and just something I'm tracking, in the city, obviously. The majority of the feedback was focused on loud motorcycles and cars, from at least the audience that was there, and everything online that I've seen, which it's online, whatever, Delray Community Forum, Delray Matters, whatever, it's come up. And it seems like that's really where the focus is in general, I'll say, not 90% of it. I'm glad you brought up the, clarification on that. There's a little confusion. I'll try to be clear as I can, is that, when they don't have the sound equipment, they can't give you a formal violation. They can only give you a warning. And to do the warning, they do it from 100 feet away, plainly audible. That was our old code. That's how it worked. We're going to have these sound machines now that measure the decibels. If they have the reader, per the regulations, they're measuring from the property line. So, it's not all properties are created equal. Like if you're at Johnny Brown's, for example, right downtown, their property line's at the sidewalk. Most Atlantic Avenue businesses, downtown, don't have really big lots and parking areas and restaurants set way in the back. So majority of them will be probably within a couple feet. I don't know, I'd have to look at I was looking at the property appraiser site before this came up just to see how the lines work. And I even know, owning commercial property, sometimes like the sidewalk is actually part of where the property line is, and you give part of the access to the city to use it, but technically, and I don't know if it's that property line or if it's the property line that's not shared. A little clarification, but I just get worried that, 85 decibels, which is the number, is very light. I would say, just to keep it really brief, someone in the meeting who was, I forget the gentleman's name, but he was sharp, he was in the front, he had a few comments, and really, just to repeat what he said, he was, one, concerned about the onus on the police setting up this measuring equipment and how to do it all, and it's going to be hard to hold up. And he just had a lot of concerns that I can't articulate as well as him, but they were very clear. And, the other part is, sorry, I'm going back to the, it was just, it needs to be tested. He asked a very poignant question, which is like, hey, have we taken sound meters to the street since we've done the work with the consultant to kind of see where we're hitting before we do a second reading and maybe turn this into the code? And, the city's still waiting on their sound equipment to come. So the answer was no. It was a little concerning. I talked to Laura. I said, let's please get a decimal reader. Ours won't be as accurate as theirs, but let's get some rough ideas of what the city sounds like, noise levels. And I think I would just really, really request, that the city, for a couple months, maybe before they institute the ordinance, get the equipment and test it and kind of show everyone, themselves, the public, everyone, where things are landing on a consistent basis for, a month to 3 months. Because, the fear is, they're going to change it. It's going to be 85. The code's the code. Our code enforcement officers have to do what the code is. There's no, hey, it's just, we got to make sure these codes work before we put them into place. And there's been a lot of concerns from the businesses. And again, I know a lot of the focus was from the cars, but again, the code is very focused on the businesses, how they measure, where they measure. And the other thing that was kind of, maybe the city, Jeff, could provide a little clarification, was the times. Because I know that, I think in the residential neighborhoods, which really isn't the DDA purview, but they were taking the quiet time from 11 p.m. to 10 p.m. And again, that affects a lot of people who live in the city.
10 a.m.
No, 10 p.m. Like you can't
Oh,
have, if you have people
dropping it.
over,
Okay, gotcha.
if you have people over and you're entertaining at your house or your neighborhood, and there's some people at the meeting that lived in residential neighborhoods that said, hey, I moved to Delray, I didn't want to be in Boca. Our neighborhood gets together, we have get-togethers, the police come, they're very nice, we turn down the music, it works out fine, but that's, we want these community things happening, and there was some fear on that side of things also. A little outside the DDA, but again, just stuff that was brought up at the meeting that I would just want to put in the light during this in case folks hadn't seen it. But I think those are my main comments. And again, I just, as a DDA board, maybe we could even make a motion to suggest, in writing that we measure formally with the equipment a couple months before we go and institute the code, just to see where everyone is, because I'm concerned, because again, I'm talking right now. I can talk away from the mic. This is over 85. My voice projects 85 to 90 decibels. I've measured it many times, so it's not that loud to be 4 feet from somewhere in the entertainment venue and hitting those numbers. And I just don't want to put our code enforcement officers or our city and our businesses in a position where we've got this new code and it's what's in writing and we got to follow it. Everyone does.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that they had the first reading and then they decided to step back a little bit from the second reading to have a presentation.
Right.
Is that this meeting?
Right, so that was
took place?
that was February 5th
Right.
meeting. Mm-hmm.
And so
Second
is
reading's
it going to
coming
be a
up.
pilot program? Or are they just going to throw it in and then figure it out after the fact? It would be
It's
great,
an
like
LDR
with the
change.
parking. I think the parking has been helpful to do the pilot program. What's the process here?
So
That's Jeff, I think.
yeah, I don't know if it's going on for second reading on the 24th.
Jeff Horace, Assistant City Manager again. I anticipate that we're going to adopt it and then we're going to enforce it and see what happens. It's a living document. If it requires changes, we'll amend it as we go along. But I expect that it'll get enforced. I'm sure we'll have I can't say I'm sure. I anticipate that we'd have a period while we're getting used to it to also for the businesses to get used to it. But I would not expect this to be a pilot program.
Yeah, 80 decibels is actually, I think, is that what it is? Not 85, but 80? Is that the?
Don't recall.
I mean, I'm looking at it here. I thought it was 85, but this says 80 is the max during the times. I mean, the businesses, I'll tell you, we did the sound walk. Businesses that were closed were ringing 75 on Atlantic Avenue.
Yeah, I mean,
just
you'd be like
because the
Johnny Brown's
cars.
with the speaker right there on the sidewalk. It's going to be.
No, I'm saying cars. Listen, cars were 75 in front of Breathe. We stood in front of Breathe, and it was 75, and the business was closed.
I can't see how this won't impact the businesses and all of these nightlife businesses in a pretty severe way.
They messed up when they turned the music down for the survey. That's what got the people argue, like, why you turn it down for the survey and then you turn it back up. But
Actually, the survey sounds would be in violation of this, even during the survey, which you said were turned down.
Yep.
But that still is over.
I mean, that's a huge draw to Delray. The other thing that's confusing me is active hours, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day of the week in all areas of the city, except within the entertainment district where active hours are extended until 1 a.m. Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
So what happens to Friday night is...
10 o'clock.
Right, but what I mean is that, Sunday people aren't really hanging out in the entertainment areas after 10 p.m., but Friday night and Saturday night, they are every weekend.
That
And
includes-
Thursday.
Saturday 1 a.m. is technically Friday night. So it's 1 a.m. Saturday morning.
Oh, okay,
and 1
okay.
a.m.
Sorry, I read that
I know,
wrong.
but so just so clarification, there's on the ordinance that I gave you all, which is the backup from the city. The active hours is different than what the quiet hours are. So I did.
Right, that's on page
The quiet
8.
hours include
8 and 9.
Right, on page 4, it says quiet hours are 10:01 p.m. to 6:59 a.m. every day in all areas of the city, except within the entertainment district, where quiet hours are Monday through Friday, 12 a.m. to 7 a.m. And then 1 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday. So the quiet hours are different than the active hours.
And then one other quick question, actually, because I was thinking about what Aaron said. He's like, they shouldn't have been quiet during the time they did the tests. We did the sound walks, and I know they measured, Jeff,
Do we have the information from the monitors that they put up in all the locations? Because I don't think I ever saw it. I don't know if it was ever published. Is there a way to see that just so we can see what everything was ringing?
I will inquire about that.
All right, yeah, because that would help us, because you're right. Like, we did quiet walks twice, and I think things were quieter then.
Yep.
And they might have been quieter for a month and a half or how many ever weeks they put the stuff up, but I'd still like to see what was ringing if possible, because I never saw the information from that, and I know they do all the tests to take out the train and this and that to figure out what the numbers are, but that would be interesting too, just to see as a starting point if you could find that for us. Again, I just want the metrics and the information.
I'll see what we have.
If I may, I just would like to say that I hope that the city, there's the spirit of the law and then there's the law. I would hope in the spirit of the law, the city is approaching this ultimately as an attempt to address a nuisance and not just as a revenue generator that ultimately
you lose revenue.
will kill business and not benefit anybody but the city's bank account. That's just a hope. That's not a statement of fact. That's just a concern on my part.
I doubt that.
Aaron?
It's the entertainment district. Anybody who moves in the entertainment district should know that entertainment is going to happen.
You're here.
And I get it. If it's loud, it's loud. Do your due diligence. Entertainment district. The businesses shouldn't have to be hitting the head over money because somebody says, I want to have my study time or yoga time and the music's too loud. Sorry. Move somewhere else.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, except that they're changing the laws, and I don't know about the spirit of the law versus the law. I only know the law, right? And I only know it's in writing because it's what I refer to. And if I'm a person moving to town and I hear about this new LDR limiting the music to 80 decibels, and that's why I'm moving to Delray, then I'm going to think that's the law, And if I'm a business that's been operating here for decades and they change where the goalpost is, we got to just work together to make sure that, we all just work together. Because again, at the end of the day, the code enforcement does a great job in general working with the businesses, and it's not about going for the money from what I understand. But at the same time, we just want to make sure that we're not putting them in a position where if they don't report it, they're not following the law, right?
Mm-hmm.
We just want to make sure that, I just think 80 decibels is really, really light, and I just have a lot of concerns about that specific number.
I can't see how it's going to work.
Another big gripe based on the survey was the vehicles, correct?
Yes.
I mean, good luck on trying to make a Lamborghini quiet. They're allowed it idle, and I don't want to lose Lamborghini customers because of somebody who can't turn their TV up or put a hearing aid on.
I'm deeply concerned because part of this the whole bustle of this town revolves around a lot of these things that make noise. And I agree with what Aaron said. If you're, if you're someone that's living in this city, knowing that you're living in an area where it's thriving and it has huge nightlife and it has a train going by and fancy loud cars and all these things, why on earth are you moving to this town? Really, at the end of the day, I mean, I think that it draws in a certain kind of crowd that's flexible, that is used to certain things.
Mr. Chair, can we take a vote or whatever to make sure these concerns are put into some sort of a letter and sent to the city? So that because we're voicing it now, but at 3:00 this meeting's over. Right. And I think the city should be seeing this stuff in
Laura,
print.
Quentin?
Yeah, I think that's fine. I did want to add something in there that is also, you all haven't mentioned it, but it was mentioned about expanding the entertainment district. Then that has been brought up, expanding the entertainment district west of Swenton, to include other, areas and help
definitely
spur vibrancy. So I don't know if that is something that is an opportunity, but I'm not sure.
Well, I think any sound ordinance should include whatever is reasonable in a neighborhood, whatever is reasonable in a normal business district, whatever is reasonable in an entertainment district.
I will tell you that being at the meeting, there were people from the west side of the street, west side of Atlantic Avenue, that would like to have the ability to have entertainment, you know, on their side of the
Would
street.
we like to see
and we
that
could
too?
talk about why there's a line on Swinton and why that might not be the case right now. But again, it was something that was brought up as a noise ordinance, you know, by people in this area and during the meeting. And I think it's something we should carry on because we're talking about the noise ordinance. That just needs to be brought up and massaged a little more.
I mean, if we look at the historical of Delray, it was, you know, we were dark, dirty, and dangerous, right? And then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
exactly. And then all of a sudden, it was the restaurants and the bars that came first, right? And then everything else started to follow. Now we have corporations coming here and so forth. I mean, I know me personally, by the way, I can hear the music from the duct from my house at home, so I don't mind that. We're all not bad and lazy in Boca, so. But anyhow, my neighbor is just putting in a new patio right now, right? So they're cutting tile. Well, I don't care. I've got impact windows. You hear as clear as a bell. I mean, there's noises that are coming as part of a downtown that's progressing, and things are happening. It's not just the restaurants, the music, so forth. There's other things, and be careful about the golden goose. We don't want to kill the goose, and certainly that's here.
Well, so there's a point that I mean, we're all talking about it, but it's not just being pinpointed, which is, you know, if we look at the downtown and we say, where are the dollars coming into? If we were to evaluate and say, you know, is the fact that we have these sort of bustling restaurants that get kind of busy and get kind of loud and get a lot of people and people are enjoying themselves, is that generating a lot of the dollars that are coming into town? And is it part of the reason that these corporations are moving in because it is a hot town and we have created a buzz? Are we going to kill the very thing that's feeding us? I think that's a very important thing to evaluate, and it would be very
detrimental.
Yes, it would be very detrimental if we do that. And I also think that west of Swinton, again, for the same reason, if this is part of what is generating dollars and making Delray successful, and I don't mean, you know, just loudest, but successful in different ways. If it happens on west of Swinton, excellent. If it happens in Pineapple Grove, excellent. If these are the areas where people want to open something that is going to generate an audience that would like to spend money, I'm all for it.
Okay. So yeah, I'd say include something on West Atlantic.
Mr. Chair, if I may, real quick.
Please.
Just some personal experience I've had. I think almost every city I've ever worked in has wrestled with this issue. It's a quality of life issue that has no absolutes. Somebody may go, hey, I can deal with that noise, that's not a problem. And the next person going, oh my God, I can't take this. So for us, it's a balancing act, and we will do the best we can. We will adopt an ordinance, we will go out, we will enforce it. If it needs tweaking, we will tweak it. We will certainly take anybody's feedback on it once it's in place and what we're doing and how it's working, and the city will do its best job. But I can tell you, I've had this experience in Miami Beach, Naples, Jensen Beach up in Martin County, Jupiter, all places that I've done some work, same exact issues, exactly the same.
Yeah, but I mean,
So-
I mean,
Not
I don't
80
know-
decibels.
How
I
many
promise
times
you.
we've won an award for, you know, most fun town in America, and all this didn't happen because we were sleepy.
And you also have issues that change. For those of you who may know Jensen Beach, one of the issues in Jensen Beach is all the downtown area of Jensen Beach is down here, and then you got a ridge, and all the homes are up here. On a day when the wind is blowing from the east to the west, it's a problem. It's a giant problem. On days when the wind is going from the west to the east, you can't hear a thing at those homes.
Yeah, sounds a weird
So,
animal. It really is.
It is very
Clouds,
strange.
everything.
And the impact of cars on noise, we had an issue a little while ago with Top Golf and what was going on there, and whether there's cars passing on the roadway at the time that you're out there trying to determine it, and whether it's a very heavy, humid day, the sound doesn't move quite much in the humidity, whether it's a cooler winter day, that sound whips across the street. Then ultimately it came down to whether their speakers were 6 foot off the ground or on the ground. And so there are issues we've dealt with and we will continue to deal with. And even after this is in place, we'll have ongoing issues with it. But we will do the best we can. We will juggle it as best we can and come up with the best possible balanced solution.
So is there consensus to give a letter?
Yes.
I've been trying to speak.
Do you need a,
Please.
Hey, thank you, Jeff. In regards to the letter, what's in it or not at this point? That matters more than anything to me because
just our comments.
Okay. Well, let me make this really, really clear for all that are listening, so that it can go into the letter as well. It's easy to operate a library type of restaurant when everyone else is a library. That means that it's an easy choice. This is quiet, this is quiet, this is quiet, that's quiet. So which quiet place do I want to attend? It's difficult to operate a library type restaurant when the alternatives are a party. And the thing about that is that that's a situation where west of Atlantic is misaligned with east of Atlantic. The word I want to use is disenfranchised, but it just probably isn't appropriate this time. But misaligned, and the entertainment district needs to move its way all the way to maybe 10th, because if you want to get the RFPs correct for whatever else you want to do in the West Settlers District or the set transformation plan, you can't keep playing the game about what we can do on this side and what we can do on that side. It's a shame. Certain employees of the code enforcement people, they're no longer around, so to speak, but even things that I was doing as a business owner indoors that were not traveling outside of the doors, I was met with resistance. I've had code enforcement officers come and stand inside my business and say, "You people don't know when you have a good thing," verbatim.
Wow.
This is not a thing that is not this, and Jeff knows this because we had a meeting about it and all this, and so it's distasteful to continue to play the West Atlantic versus East Atlantic game as though you didn't just have the Sunday Village open, and they're a part of this now as well. So one of the things I was excited about was like, great, they're not going to want to be a library, so now I don't have to fight this by myself, because Sunday Village there's a lot of money over there. There's people they're paying a fortune to be there. It's a huge project. So when you start thinking about this, it's not. And I try so hard not to make things as they are, but you just look at what it is. It's misaligned. It's severely misaligned as to, even before I ever turned a light on at where I was at, I was categorized as, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. I was met with that before anyone ever knew what my name was. But if I get into a new relationship, I want you to meet me at who I am, not whoever used to be there.
Right.
But the point is I understand that those other people might have done that, but that has nothing to do with what I'm doing. And in addition to that, every business that's on Atlantic Avenue and is paying the exact same millage rate as the businesses all across Atlantic Avenue, one block east, one block north and south, should have the opportunity to make money. Mm-hmm. It hurts my soul to people to open the door and, oh, you're not having anything in here? Okay, well, we're gonna go down to down there and where they got it shaking and baking at. That's a reality.
And it's all the same zoning. There's
and it's
no different than yours.
All the same zoning.
This sounds like two letters. One about that and one about the sound ordinance.
Well,
we should be dealing.
But it's tied to it.
It's all tied together, Al, because at the end of the day, I like to not do the thing that I'm having to do right now, but it's a real point. The guy at Windy City Pizza, he would like to do certain things. I already know that Tropical likes to do beer and bourbon fest and all this other kind of stuff. It's not just I'm happy it's no longer just me anymore, but the voices are going to get so loud and we could actually get ahead of it, because it's going to start to look really poor on the city when people start to go, well, what's special about them? or what's not special about this, and why are we all paying the same that, and we're not receiving the same this.
We're all listening.
Totally.
We're all listening, Anthony.
It has to. The noise ordinance is one thing, right? Because before I ever opened, I got an email told me no dancing, no standing. Well, no dancing, no standing. All of your guests must be seated at all times. Well, I guess they ought to crawl in the restaurant.
Oh, right. Yeah, the hybrid.
I've seen it.
license.
It's on his business tax receipt. They wrote it in. I mean, I've seen it.
It's there. It's written there. It's but no standing. That means like don't stand by the bar. Don't stand up there and order a drink. This is not how you operate. I digress.
That's all right. I think it's
I
really
think we're
important.
all in agreement on that,
Yeah,
right?
it's,
So we have consensus,
We need
correct?
to deal with it. We shouldn't
Yeah.
just let it be at the meeting and then it goes away. We should be addressing
That's what I'm saying.
this.
We have consensus to send a letter. We want to get a letter out.
And we want to talk about the extension of the entertainment district as part of the letter, I think.
I think that's
do that
almost
as a
more
whole-
important.
Yeah, and
About
it'll be a
item.
bigger conversation, I think, but it ties into this letter, and again, we can have a bigger conversation about it, because I don't want to harp on it either, but Anthony, I'm glad you brought it up, because, I said there's a reason why it doesn't go past Atlantic Avenue, and I get the chills, but
Yeah.
there used to be a bell that sounded, and if you were the wrong color skin, they'd beat you up and drop you off on the other side. And there were people that were alive that I've sat with at an elders meeting that had heard that bell, I'm looking at them telling me this stuff. And if you wonder why is there not later activities on this area, I'd say there's some history to that. And I think, as a city, one Atlantic Avenue, one Delray Beach, well, we should take a hard look at that. And that's something when I'm on this board, everyone else is very on it. I'm here to push for that.
This has been addressed. The red line's been addressed in the set transformation plan. It should not be overlooked by us, and we should. We are the DDA. This is our mission.
This is our neighborhood. These are
Yes.
what we're fighting
Absolutely.
for. These
Yeah.
businesses, these folks. I
That's why
mean,
we-
and again, the people at the sound ordinance meeting, he'd be like, "Oh, it's a standard of living." You got to really look in the neighborhoods and the people around here and what they want. And they've been
Well, actually,
folks are very vocal about it. So.
And to the history, that
Yeah.
was, it was a bustling town. It was bustling west of Swinton.
It was, yeah.
It was.
The hotel was where all these
Clubs,
folks would stay,
jazz
the one
clubs,
hotel.
the back room was the place back in the day. And that was where the tennis center is now. So it's important. It's important for our entire downtown to these topics, parking, noise. These are very, very important. So it is important that, we support them as we support the transformation plan as well. So I think, we'll compile your information, WAP, and all of the great feedback here and put it into a letter that we'll share with Jim and
everybody.
And the
for that.
board.
Okay,
I'll
we'll
give
send it all to you
feedback.
first, and then get
Absolutely.
feedback, and then we'll send it on, and I'll keep you posted if I hear how it's making its way through. So if it is on a future commission agenda, it'd be great to have the board support in
not
person.
to beat a dead horse, I had dinner at the Grove on Saturday night with family, and inside there, it's very loud. What the acoustics or whatever they don't have, whatever, it's very in the Grove restaurant. And I'm sorry, not the Grove. I'm sorry, Akira.
Oh, yeah.
Akira. I'm sorry. I could choose if I don't want to hear that noise. I could choose not to go to that restaurant anymore, right? So, it's the same thing with people that are residing here, especially with new residents that get built. And maybe you have to do like GL Homes does with their community, where there used to be farmland and there was arsenic. Well, they have to put in the deed. Guess what? Here it is. This used to be a farm, and then there's arsenic as a result of it, and you can't do certain things, and there are restrictions. So maybe with all these new residential projects coming up, be it the townhomes, whatever else, if you're on top of the entertainment district and so forth, you better be. Yeah, exactly. An HOA. Boom, boom.
The Strand.
Put it out there.
The Strand is going to be right across from now. Bounce.
Yeah, one other thing real quick I just want to throw out there, because I did bring it up at the meeting, also with the sound, because before we jump off, not to be in the letter, but I just have concerns, because sometimes, like I mentioned, there's equipment out there that can control all the decibel levels on all the different speakers, in different establishments, and they can be set to where it's full volume and you can't get over it, right? certain venues that are more outside, when you have 40, 60, 100 people, it gets loud. It's not
louder than 80.
Louder than 80. Like, you can turn off the music and it's still going to be very loud. So my concern was, when I asked, what happens when the decibels are loud and they turn off the music? Like, do they have to have people leave the venue? And, it wasn't super clear, but, it's just something that has to be looked at, because there are ways that the venues can control the sound that they produce, but even if you go to a conference and everyone's talking and you just stop for a second and listen, it's like a roar.
For the record, I'm on Atlantic Avenue right at US 1. I get cars driving by at 50 miles an hour, motorcycles, large trucks all the time. My people suffer more than anybody. We don't hear Johnny Brown's, which is a block away. We don't hear anything else. Mavis was across the street in her store. The motorcycles, the noise we complained about constantly was not the business noise ever. It was always the external noises. And our complaints, at the time, we complained to the city about noise, and we were excited at a noise ordinance. But what's being addressed is this is the baby in the bathwater thing. We're not talking about where the noise overruns the entertainment district. We're talking about coddling the entertainment district, making the entertainment district pay the price for 80 decibels. But the people are going to drive through town, maybe, maybe not. They'll get stopped, but whatever. But the real noise problem is not the businesses, okay? It's the external sources.
But here's the issue now. If we keep trying to give them solutions on how to make this work, you're going to fail, because it's not just going to stop at the noise from the restaurants, or it's not going to just. It might start at the motorcycle, it might start at the car, and it's going to be that one person, and then that little group that just keeps greasing up that wheel. That's going to go, well, if you penalize these guys, why can't you just make the music? Why can't you make the restaurants quieter now?
Well, that's where we're at.
If we just treat it like it's an entertainment district, like it is, and say whatever happens, like it should be.
Well, if a noise ordinance is needed, it should be about the nuisance noise.
It's just going to keep going. It's going to be a cascading casualty.
It already has. It's down to 80 decibels,
It's
and it's
entertainment
everybody.
district. It's entertainment district, and that's how they should leave it.
So we should be writing a couple of letters, and we should stay on top of it. And we should, as Laura said, support when Brian was there, and Brian's been walking the street. I haven't, and I'm sorry. I apologize. And I haven't been to the noise and ordinance meetings. I should have been, and we should all be.
It's fine. We're here. They're on video. You can always watch them.
No, we should be there voicing our opinion with you.
The only thing I could say is on Saturday night, I think it was Saturday night, I covered 3 places on Saturday. I started off at Tremonti for dinner. It was loud, and it was fun, and it was jam-packed, and there wasn't a seat available, obviously. And then went to go see a live band from a guy in my office who's in a band at Hurricanes, mobbed, everybody having fun, loud, and kept it inside, but it was a lot of fun, and it was very loud. And then went over to Avalon and went for a drink at Avalon, mobbed, and there was a group, one table that had to have like 20 guys, all from a foreign country, that were on vacation in Miami. And they heard about Delray being such a fun town that they decided to take one night out of their Miami trip from whatever country they came from, and had a car service take two car services take the whole group to Delray, and they ate at Avalon. And they were like, this town rocks. And we were talking to them, and it's just like, this is what we attract. We attract people from everywhere, and I think they're looking to have a great time.
But meanwhile,
Anyway.
we're writing this sound ordinance, and we're talking about it here, but we're not doing anything.
Right.
We need to get aggressive. 80 decibels is just not acceptable.
The problem is we don't get to make that choice and that decision. All we can do is complain. We can have a sit-in. You can have whatever you want to have.
Yeah, but we have to be there. We can't just do it here. That was my point. And thank you, Brian, for being there.
Yeah.
And Laura, of course.
Yes.
And the team, they're always there.
And the city for hosting it, and honestly providing the opportunity for us to attend and have the community there. Because again, a lot of the feedback I'm giving isn't my stuff. It's
I'm sorry I
other
wasn't
people
there.
say.
I feel guilty.
It's all right.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
It's 3 o'clock.
I've got like 2 minutes. I'm gonna have
okay.
to dip at 3.
Financials, this is the last thing, and then we can go right into comments. So everybody has the financials in front of them for both November and December. Just highlights, and I've kind of gone through these with everybody, that you have the DDA income and expenses. We're on track. We've obviously income on the DDA side. A lot of our tax dollars came in December, so a significant increase there. And expenses are on track. Nothing, no high level of any issues, but I did give you some highlights there of where those are. And then Old School Square, we've got obviously November and December is quite different because of the income from the city that was received on December 31st, which is now offsetting our expenses. So with that, if you have any questions, I'll take a motion to approve the financials.
Motion to approve the budget.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Who is that guy?
You guys got me on a
Thank you.
tight time schedule. I can't talk, but I'm good.
All right, so 6 we're on comments. Sir?
Thank you very much.
That's it?
That's it.
Mine too. Thank you very much.
All
I
right.
know you're going to call
Yeah.
me first, Jim.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank
it's
you.
It's
Anyway,
me.
I
I'm
apologize.
good. I think I just appreciate everybody's support and just recognizing the team
Cool.
and our partners. So
I'm
thank you.
good.
Ryan?
Nope.
Aaron? Anthony?
See you guys in the car line.
Jewel? Al?
The only thing I really want to say is that I'm really sorry Alex is leaving. I'm really sorry that
Yes,
Danielle
I
left.
agree.
And we're going to, I feel bad for Laura because she's got to replace difficult people to replace.
We'll talk
Yeah.
a little bit more about that too next meeting, and just about that Old School Square maybe a little bit more, because that's a lot of this is our staff that runs it, and we don't have much of a runway, so we're trying to figure it out.
Thank you, everybody.
Meeting
Good
adjourned.
meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.